Everybody, welcome back to another episode, another live episode of the Geeks Forever podcast. And I forgot to send the damn invite to Sonic. That's why he's not here.
Makes sense.
Whoops.
I can hear your dog breathe. Damn. I can hear her breathe. Mullet's dog.
Yeah.
All right. I am your host, the one, the only, the notorious, the infamous, the most chaotic panelist and podcast host. And all of you, acknowledge me. Acknowledge me, for I am your Mexican king. I'm not the tribal chief, but I am the king. And joining me, he's not here. He might be here later. I don't know. We'll see. But joining me is actually, they are now award-winning cosplay model and cosplay prop maker, Fire Winter's Adventures, and Mr. Clint, who they entered their first cosplay contest and won their first award at Anime Texas.
Yeah, first place novice.
What's up, Geek Cred Trivia? Welcome to the show. Got a lot of things to talk about. We're going to talk about the good, the bad, the review of Anime Texas that happened this past weekend. Talk a little bit about Anime Houston this coming weekend. Louisiana Retro Con will be joining us later today as well for a short interview, because their convention is happening this weekend in Louisiana. And we'll make fun of Deacon Rap a little bit. And hopefully Sonic runs the skinny. I don't do the skinny, but for those of you that don't know, James Earl Jones did pass away today. Unfortunately, I don't know the full details as to what happened. He was in his 90s. He unfortunately passed earlier. Like I said, I just found out. I haven't really had a chance to really look up all the information. But our thoughts and our prayers go out to his friends and family. And, I was a big fan of his. I loved him as Darth Vader, Mufasa. I'm definitely a big fan of his. I also remember him in The Sandlot. I'm really gonna miss his work, but yeah, I'm actually kind of sad now.
I completely forgot that was him in The Sandlot.
Yeah, he was only in there for like towards the end, and it was only for a bit. It wasn't very long, so a lot of people don't remember. All right, so for those of you, and Beetlejuice came out this past weekend. If you haven't already, we haven't seen it. I don't know how it did well in the box office. I know Deadpool and Wolverine is still doing great in the box office. It's still, it might not be number one, but I know it was number one for a while. And for those of you in the Houston area, we are planning a get together for Sonic the Hedgehog 3 in December. Oh yeah, he was in the Big Bang Theory. He was in the Big Bang Theory with he made a cameo in one of the episodes.
As himself?
Yeah, he played Sheldon runs into him. He's like, "You're. Let me guess. You're a fan of Star Wars." And like, so am I. Like, yeah, he. It was great. I watched the Big Bang Theory because I like to put on a show and let it play in the background while I fall asleep. It's like that's my white noise. So, like I said, I don't have a skinny. Sonic usually runs a skinny. But I will say this: the Sonic Cafe that was open, its last day was yesterday. I missed out on it, unfortunately, but it's not a big deal. I do love Sonic the Hedgehog, but I'm not a super big Sonic the Hedgehog fan, so it is what it is. And there's a cosplay dance party this month. I'll get the details as we progress through the show. It's in Houston. It's at Numbers Nightclub. We will be there. We're trying to donate a prize, so we're going to see what happens. But other than that, like I said, Sonic runs the skinny. I don't really gather that information. That's his thing. All right, so let's go ahead. Welcome, guys. Thank you for first off, Winter. Yeah, well, thank you for coming back.
Nice to be here.
Beetlejuice is number one at the moment. Deadpool and Wolverine is number two. Well, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of Beetlejuice. I know I'm going to piss some people off. I was never a big fan of the movie or the cartoon.
Oh, I forgot there's a cartoon.
And I don't for a while I thought the cartoon came first and then it was the movie, but no, it was the movie, then the cartoon. And then there was a guy running around named Beetlejuice who doesn't look like Beetlejuice at all. So there's all that.
If you
So
didn't know who Beetlejuice was, and they showed you a picture of him and like the movie Beetlejuice, I'd probably pick him to be actually what Beetlejuice really is.
right. Well, I didn't know the dude, like the guy, the short guy. I didn't know. I've seen him before, but I didn't know his name was Beetlejuice until like a year ago. So I
I don't
didn't know
remember
who he
where he
was.
originally came from. Was he a Howard Stern thing?
He was in an episode of WCW back in the late '90s. So it's way further. So I don't even know where that came from. But all right, so let's talk about Anime Texas. I unfortunately missed Friday because I had to work. My ride showed up late. Plus, it sucks because they shut down 45. It's like we went to Southside near Hobby Airport to pick up some stuff. And then we were coming back and they shut down the freeway for like almost 10 miles. Like I'm not even kidding. All like inside the loop, inside where downtown is, it was shut down for the most part.
Do we know why?
Construction. At first I thought it was a car wreck, but they shut down so much of the freeway and they didn't even have the manpower to work on that much freeway. And it was shut down over the weekend. I don't know. Maybe they were replacing signs. Maybe they were doing something. I don't know what it was, but what should have been a 30-minute car trip turned into like an hour. Like it
Yeah.
sucks.
Man, it has to be some type of damage to do it on a Saturday at that time because everybody is on 45. Everybody's going, downtown or going out.
Well, they shut it down Friday night.
Oh yeah, Friday night. It was either same way. Whatever.
It was shut down all of Saturday, like the whole day Saturday.
See, I feel like it has to be repairs, but whatever. They do that.
There's probably some damaged reflectors that they had to get right then, right there.
Always take Hardy Toll Road if you can. I am poor. I is of the poor.
I call the Hardy the Houston Autobahn. Just get on there, go, however fast.
Were y'all at the con all day Friday, or when did y'all get there Friday?
Yeah, we got there right at 3.
Yeah, we got there at 3. It took me a while to get
whenever-
ready though.
First time I tried to go get our badges, they said, "Oh, we're not open till 3:30."
Let's talk about the badge. Do y'all still have it?
I can go get one. Hold on.
All right.
Yeah,
So,
to show the badges. They're so badgy.
badgy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
so
were there Friday.
I got there Friday around. I think I got there at like 11.
Yeah, it was late.
I got there late. I checked in. I went to change. I'm glad I showered
Here we go.
before I left.
There
There we go.
Anime
There's the
Texas
badge.
That is the Anime Texas badge that is the weekend badge and the panelist badge.
Yeah.
Yep.
Added it to my collection.
I threw mine away.
I threw mine away too.
Can we get like a 360 of it just to, because people are probably wondering, is there any like special markings, any logos?
No, y'all could have went to Party City and just went.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you'd have got orange one, I think that was media.
What the hell? I asked for media. I wanted both. So for like Colossal Con, I had both the panelist badge and the press badge, and it was like, I just need a dealer's badge, volunteer badge, a staff badge, and I could have like the infinity badges. Be like Thanos.
Yeah,
All
see,
the power.
there is some like pros and cons to it. I mean, it's dumb and it's stupid. But for me, it was easy to hide with my cosplay because I only wear like long sleeve cosplays. So I didn't have to hide my badge for pictures, right? But then again, there we go. People that don't have long sleeve cosplays, they can't hide that. So I thought that was kind of dumb.
All right, joining us is the man with the plan, the Ayatollah of rock and roll, the one and the only, the Texas Gaming Hedgehog, the one that will spin dash his way into your hearts, into your wallets, and maybe into your ears. Keyblade Sonic, and he runs a skinny.
Shouldn't that be the other way around? Because we're already spin dashing through their ears anyway.
Yeah, it's true, but you're also you're also voice talent. So
yeah. Hey everybody. Hi. Sorry for running a little bit late.
He was eating at the Sonic place before they shut it down.
Yeah, yesterday
Is
they
that like
did.
a pop-up?
Yeah, it was a pop up. A lot of people were kind of surprised about it. I remember posting about it like a couple days ago, like, "Oh my god, I thought this was permanent." Like, no, it was always going to be a pop up. Like, they made
They
it clear a
actually
couple times.
they actually extended it.
Yeah, it was supposed to end like early August, but they extended it for like another month. So I did go to it last night. It was not bad. It was pretty fine. Just soaking it all in the last few moments of it. I'm just hoping they come back.
Maybe it
Yeah.
just depends on like
Demand and all that.
demand, and if like certain people don't
Sega.
stock them, and Sega, and like
Yeah,
I
I'll
think it'll
talk.
come back.
Yeah, that I'll bring that up after the show because there was something that happened about that.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were just talking about the badge. Show them
Mhm.
the badge.
Badges look.
Well, it's true. Their badges were really nice. Like the first year, we didn't go to the second year.
There's
but
a
the first one
marking
was
on it.
nice.
There you go.
So it's just nothing but it's nothing but bull. Wow, that's it. No, like lanyard.
No,
Nothing?
Nada.
Wow.
that's the weekend badge.
To be fair, I mean, it did survive a shower, and I'm a very sweaty human, so it survived that too. So
It survived the gym. I went to the gym Saturday, was there for almost 3 hours because we left when y'all were going to the what do you call
contest.
orientation for the cosplay contest? What is it called?
The
pre-show?
Prejudging.
Yeah,
no, it wasn't prejudging. Was it prejudging?
I think so.
Because y'all were prejudged before in the day.
It was just getting set up because it took a while, to
rehearsal.
sit there
It was
and get
rehearsal.
There we go. Dress rehearsal.
Dress rehearsal.
There
So we all went downstairs at the same time. So okay, we're going to dress rehearsal, and then we went to the gym. Me and Eric went to the gym, and we walked back, and they had already won like first place novice. And so I don't know. That's a long and a cosplay competition is always pretty long. So that's I guess around how much time we spent. The gym was like literally a block away. Like it was a 3-minute walk.
A nice walk too, because it's a nice hotel. They had really cool stuff outside.
Man, the road that leads up to the hotel is brick, right? So it's hard to tell if it's a road or like a sidewalk for a park.
Yeah, even knowing that it's a road, looking down like from my room, I was like, "You can drive there."
Yeah, because we call and like, hey, how do we get in? We can't find the road. He's like, and then we saw a car drive on the road. Oh, that's not a sidewalk. That's a street. It's just a fancy street. So yeah, it was great. It was fancy. It was just the walk to the gym was nice, man. It wasn't too hot. The sun wasn't whipping my ass like I owed it money.
Did you look at any of the cool like stuff? Like the statues in the water kind of creeped me out. But then we walked and we found the other statues and they were like interactive. So you could move this thing and it would make the trumpets would make noise. It was really cool.
They call it like invisible music. There's a bunch of like copper pipes with ball valves, and you shut the valve and it turns off and to open it back up.
Hell nah, I didn't check shit out. I'm Mexican, and there was already security following me everywhere.
It was nice, and that's one thing I can say. Like Anime Texas, I didn't go last year, but I went the first year, and it was at the resort. I don't know where it was last year, but it was at the resort, which was really nice and really cheap, really fucking cheap. And then this year it was pretty cheap too, and the hotel was really nice. So I could give them that. Is they go to really nice places.
I think the hotel last year that they were at was that over like near the Galleria. I think it was.
It was near the Galleria because we walked to the Galleria.
Royal Tenesta. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one? Was that one really nice too?
I didn't go, so I don't know. I just knew that it was there. Has to be right. Yeah.
I'm never okay. This is what I get for going on Etchy Expo's Discord and trying to advertise the podcast. I saw Wiener.
Well, it's
I mean,
Etchy Expo, so it shouldn't
yeah.
be surprising.
I'd be surprised if you didn't.
Yeah.
I can't even type anymore. We're like, I'm advertising. We are reviewing Anime Texas, owned by Fandom.
So, Anime Texas, was it in the same Woodland Resort last year?
No, so sorry, I was
You weren't
trying to put that
listening.
up.
It was Galleria
I was
area
not.
last year.
I
So
was, I was not listening.
like,
My
so
bad.
this was Spring Texas. The first year was the
In the
Woodlands.
Woodlands,
Mhm.
yeah.
It wasn't because it was fancy. It was fancy as hell. Like they had golf courses. Like
Yeah.
all the caddies looked like they were related to me.
Our room was like a 2-bedroom room, 1.5 bath, and it was so fucking cheap. It was so cheap. I was like, wow, I am never going to be able to go to another resort ever. And they called it the anime resort the first year. They're like, come to an anime resort. And I thought that was really cool.
It was definitely way too cheap for because like they had a
Yeah.
fancy bar, a fancy restaurant. They had fire pits outside.
Yeah,
No, but
we stayed in
like
our room most of the time though because it was just we were in so awe, like we could never afford a room like this.
it
And
was
one of the
great.
voice actors was showing their room, and I was like, dude, our room is so much better than hers. It was crazy. So I could give them that. And then I'm assuming the Galleria was really nice too. But and it's really cheap. It is really cheap, the
We
hotel packages.
we have our first question of the day from Geek Cred Trivia. What was the attendance like this year?
I think on Friday it was pretty dead on Friday. It picked
It
up a
was
little bit,
dead
but
But
dead.
it started late too at the same
yeah, like I
time.
said, you couldn't even get your wristband till 3:30.
It was dead enough that I didn't hit anybody with my prop. So normally I'd be like people like my prop was really big and it wasn't
Wait,
crowded enough for me to hit anybody with it.
you
So
wore it Friday?
well I'm talking about Saturday. Like
Oh,
Friday was dead. Saturday was pretty dead too.
I was being a little bit better of a handler on Saturday because I stopped at least 2 times you poking someone's eye
it
out with the ear.
I think Anime Texas is more of a like a home, not like a homie, like the homies, like homie, like home, like a homie con. You know?
You mean like a hangout con?
Yeah, because they legit had like a hangout area. It was like a they called it the quiet area, and it was like a bunch like some tables, some couches. Like one section of it looked like a bar, just people to go and hang out and chill.
Oh
Dang, I
yeah,
guess
it was
we missed
definitely
that.
party like because they had a lot of bars set up. So everybody like Friday night at karaoke, everybody was drunk, and then it seemed like I don't know, it seemed like everybody was drunk on Saturday at one point. They had bars, they had little bars everywhere. I didn't check them out, but they were supposed to have little anime themed drinks, and I wanted to see what they were, but I didn't because I wasn't about to buy stuff from the bar.
Plus,
But
you
they
weren't
didn't say anything
drinking
about
Friday night.
yeah, I
Wasn't
wasn't
drinking.
drinking Friday night,
You were being a
but
good girl.
yeah, I wasn't drinking Friday night. I wasn't supposed to. I may have had a little bit, like maybe one beer,
I put
a little bit.
a shot of Fireball on the table as peer pressure in front of her, like, oh, it's calling you. And then she's like, I'm gonna drink that if you leave it there. I'm like, yeah, right. And I turn around just to look at who's singing, and then I turn back and the bottle's gone. Like, it's not even like you would think, like, oh, she drank it, the bottle's empty. It's no, the bottle's gone. Like, I think she ate the bottle,
I did say I'm gonna drink that.
but
Yeah,
did
fair
you eat
warning.
the
That's
bottle?
that's gonna disappear if you leave it there.
Yeah, and they didn't say anything about outside drinks. Like everybody had beers in their hand that obviously they didn't buy from the bar. So it was kind of like party, like a party con, I guess.
I think the
I
talk.
don't. Maybe I shouldn't say that. Maybe I shouldn't say I brought outside food and drinks. I
I
didn't.
mean,
That
we
was a lie.
literally walked in there with beers in our hand. We didn't even hide them.
Yeah, I count that as a plus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. You know, I think it was really fun. Just so it was
Uh,
to me.
Technical difficulties.
yeah. Actually, do you? Here's a little interesting question. Do you guys think that since this was going on at the same time as JFest, do you think that must have affected the attendance of the convention?
Probably.
Yeah, I
I
suppose it could have. I tried to tell her Friday, like, "Hey, Japan Fest is going on." She didn't believe me
I didn't
until
know.
till last night. She's like, "Hey, Japan Fest was this weekend."
I was like, I didn't know they did it because they went so many years after COVID without doing it. So I
They did
didn't
it
Yeah,
last
know.
year.
they did it last year, but this year for some reason they did it in September instead of May, like they
Yeah,
usually May or April or something like that, which is
I
kind of
went as
odd.
I went as Captain Mexico last year, and it was hot as shit.
Well, they picked a much better week weather-wise. It was nice, at least
It worked
where
out
we
better
were.
for them. Worked out better.
Did
To
they
kind
have
of
a good
answer,
attendance? Anyone know?
Yeah,
they
I
I,
think they did.
I heard people say that they left. For example, someone I knew left the house like around like 11. They weren't able to get like parking or something till like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and by the time they got to the actual festival, like it was like really packed. It was like hard to get anything, and like it was even hard to get out. That's what I heard. I wasn't there, so I don't know. But yeah, I heard
Mm,
it got traffic wise, it's just terrible in that
I
area.
imagine Herman Park sucks anyways. We always park at this bike place, like a bike place. Where is it that we
I think it's like
park?
a. I
Like,
think it's like a bicycle museum. It's a few blocks
yeah.
out,
Yeah,
and
so we
yeah,
always park there and just walk. Herman Park
I,
is a nightmare.
I hate Herman Park because last year this stupid lady. Oh, my lights are on. I gotta turn them off. This stupid lady like got out of her car. Like somebody was leaving, so she gets out and runs to the parking spot
Oh
and
yeah, I've
gets
seen
in
that happen.
front of it and stands there until like her boyfriend or whoever can like
What?
reach the
I have
spot.
never
Yeah,
seen that actually happen. I've seen it
And
on the internet, but wow.
I almost got out of the car and threw my fucking shield at her because I'm like I was so pissed. But we found a spot like 5 minutes after that. But and I did the same shit. I'm like, you know what? Fuck this, and I did it too. I'm like, what? What? An asshole. Um, but like I think could it have hurt Anime Texas, and I'm actually want to address this question as well. But did it hurt? Maybe, maybe not. It's the Japanese festival is always going to do great for one. It's like a free event. It is no, it's not like it is a free event, right? You can just walk up and walk around and like bullshit. Um, Anime Texas, the location was smaller than last year's, but it didn't feel like empty. In some parts of the convention, it did feel somewhat crowded because just based off of the size of the con, I think it did well attendance wise. Later Saturday did better. But like the amount of people that entered the cosplay competition was definitely like not a lot. I think they expected more.
Would you say it was like alarming or something?
Mm,
I mean, I wasn't mad at it, but that's just because it made our odds that much better.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
Yeah.
Like we don't
and
know. I don't know about it being if they'll do it next year.
they already announced that they're going to announce
Did
next year's
they?
dates.
Yeah, I
Okay.
saw they
They
to be
announced
announced.
that
That
they're
they'll be
going to
back next year. Yeah.
they announced they'll be back next year. They made an announcement that they're going to announce later in the year next year's dates.
It's kind of like whenever they have trailers for it, there's going to be a
Yeah.
Yeah,
trailer.
yeah. When when Nintendo or PlayStation do like an ad for their shows. Sonic, is my thing cutting?
Not really, not a little bit. Yeah, so far I haven't heard anything bad. So far, other than the hiccup earlier, that's everything's all good so far.
Okay, okay. Just checking. Just all right. So they need to bulldoze the golf course and add parking. Yes, thank you. I'm going to run for president of the United States, and my first bill, my act, is to make golf illegal. You can putt, mini golf, it's fine, but 20 acres of you can aren't able to get your balls in a hole, yeah, that's not gonna fly anymore, Chief. But do you think fandom should focus on adult cons more in the future? I don't know. They really shine when it comes to the Ecchi Expo conventions, but I think we need more cons like Anime Texas. We need more because we have way too many adult conventions now.
Some might say just way too many in general because there's a lot.
There's a lot of conventions. There were I don't know. I know there was other conventions this weekend, and there's a convention this coming weekend called Louisiana Retro Con that's coming on the show for a short interview today.
And Anime Houston this weekend too.
Yeah, Anime Houston as well this weekend, and like in all honesty, there are rumors going around about Anime Houston not doing as well. So there's way too many, and people are still financially recovering from San Japan.
Mm-hmm. San Japan,
Colossal Con.
Yeah.
Colossal Con wasn't, and Colossal Con is fucking expensive. But to me, Colossal Con I think Colossal Con is worth it. I think Colossal Con is a better convention, hands down, night and day, than San Japan. And
We've never been to either, so, but it is like convention after convention. I don't know how people can afford to go to so many. You like have to decide, okay, I could go to this one, and this one. I was thinking about just getting a hat, putting them all in there, and then pulling them out. Like we can only afford to go to this many, and we are still financially recovering from like years before cons that we put on the credit cards. So yeah, we can't. It's hard. I don't know how people are doing it.
Don't forget that we have TasumiCon, another adult convention coming up. OniCon, the Arcade Expo Pinball Pass, right?
Yeah, Arcade and Pinball Expo.
That same weekend as OniCon.
Yeah.
There's also Anime Frontier, Ecchi Expo, Anime Dallas,
NostalgiaCon.
NostalgiaCon isn't also NostalgiaCon Houston, and that's just this year alone.
Yeah, and Sonic Expo.
And Sonic Expo, which Geeks 5 ever will be at. And joining us is the man, the one, the only, one of the top 10 panelists in the state of Texas, Haji Suffering.
Haji Suffering. I got demoted to top 10 now. All right.
Oh my. Well, okay. I don't know exactly where you're ranked, so I just said top 10.
Top tier. You could have just that.
Top tier. Top flight.
Top tier. There we go. No, let's not put a number on it. Let's not put the dick measuring contest out, right?
Hey. Look. Let's not say things we don't mean. Okay. All right. No, but thank you for being here. We were just talking about we were answering some of the questions from the chat. Like, so one of the questions that we will ask you, because you were there Friday, do you think, how was the attendance throughout the show this year, in your opinion?
So Friday and Sunday definitely felt not all there. It kind of just felt like people were walking around casually, and like the artists were just looking at each other going like, all right, what are we doing? My camera just turned off. Yeah, it did.
Well, I mean, you kind of froze, so your camera was like, all right, we're going to turn off, but we're going to leave them.
Yeah. So, like, Friday and Sunday, the attendance definitely wasn't all there. So it was a little bit kind of just like, okay, are we really at a convention? Saturday, it sort of picked up a little bit more. And I felt like, okay, that actually felt like a convention, but it definitely felt like it was giving me more like 1 or 2 day convention vibes rather than like the full 3 days what it was scheduled for, because of just how little there was on Friday.
Mm-hmm. It did. I agree. It did feel like more of a Saturday, Sunday convention. Well, because for one, I got there late on Friday because of the stupid 45 shutdown, which stupid city of Houston, stupid. But you can get a free pass to Arcade Expo if you bring an arcade or retro console.
Yeah, you could.
Technically, the PS4 is retro now. Oh, my PS3. I could bring that, and it has Marvel vs. Capcom 2 HD release.
Yeah, but then the the collection's already coming out this week anyway.
I think the HD release of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 and the PS3 is much better than the
I mean, you
re-release.
can't really say it if you haven't played it yet.
Well, because like the have you played on the PS3? It uses it doesn't have the borders on the side. They actually like remastered it and they fixed the textures and everything, and it looks great on the PS3. I'm surprised they didn't re-release that one, and it's even like it uses the full screen. Looks great. It doesn't feel stretched at all. It's not stretched. So but that one doesn't come out until November, and the con's in October.
No, it comes out in November physically, but digitally you can get it next week.
Oh, and I'm buying like 5 copies and physically so I can hold on to them for 20 years. All right, $500. Who wants Marvel versus Capcom 2? But well, it's the same weekend as Onicon, so we'll have to see how things play out.
Mm-hmm.
Because, and also don't forget, not just anime conventions, but the Texas Renaissance Festival starts in a month.
Yeah, we got Renfest going on, and there's obviously like Halloween and stuff going on. Other other stuff going on because cons. She brought it up earlier how most people can afford some of these cons. Sometimes they would have to like make some sacrifices. Like they would go to this, but like, oh, we're going to a con instead, or I'm going to this instead of a con, for example. A good example, I know the Sonic Symphony will be in Houston in late October, and a lot of people I know are going to be there. They're like going to skip cons because they're going to go to that instead. It's just all about priorities and stuff.
It is. So to add an emphasis, to kind of add to what Sonic was saying, the Texas Renaissance Festival is very expensive. If you buy a season pass, depending on what kind you buy, we bought the Diamond Pass. I get entry into every day of the fair. I guess preferred parking, which is going to make no sense for me. But we mostly got it because we're camping and we can leave our camp. So the Renaissance Festival starts in a month, right? We're allowed to set up our camp this Saturday and take the spot we want.
I'd assume they were like assigned places. You just show up and pick.
You are assigned. The clans have assigned sections. You have to have 10 members. I forgot what the requirements are, but you have to have like 10 people, and you have to register, and you have to submit a registration for the clan. And then if it gets approved, you can pick a section that becomes your section. But for the Diamond Pass, it was $877. Thank God for that 4 payment plan thing. Let me split.
They have a payment plan for it?
No. You can sign up for one of those apps, like Chase does it, PayPal does it, like divide it into 4 payments.
Like Afterpay and shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Uplift and all that stuff.
Yeah, QuadPay lets you type in the website. Like if you want to buy it from a specific website, you put the website in like their search bar, and it registers the card to that website, so you can buy it that way. Quad's pretty cool. Chase is pretty cool. PayPal's pretty cool. Afterpay and like even Cash App is doing it now. They're calling it pay as you go, but they're restricted on where you can use it.
Because not many places take Cash App and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I actually want to address Geekred's question in the chat. This being the weekend before Anime Houston, did that necessarily hurt Anime Texas? I want to say what hurt Anime Texas more is just the fact that fandom has a lot of cons, and they were advertising and marketing more for Windbloom than they were for Anime Texas, and Windbloom was actually 2 weeks before. So I think what hurts fandom a lot of the times more is when they give attention to some cons but not others. What tends to happen is some cons get left by the wayside, especially when they're in similar areas. Because Anime Houston and Anime Texas have a completely different marketing strategy to where they attract completely different crowds. Fandom leans more on like kind of the DGen crowd, the one that's more local grassroots in the community. And then Anime Houston is like, hey, are you a fan of English voice actors? And that's the type of place you want to come out to. So I actually think it goes to 2 different crowds. So I don't think them being on back-to-back weekends is necessarily a bad thing. I just think a lot of people after Labor Day weekend between Dragon Con and San Japan are super burnt out, where you won't get anyone that's not local.
Well,
And I think
people
that's
are
the main thing.
also burnt out from Colossal Con because Colossal Con is fucking expensive. Like the rave at the Waves is $40.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Colossal's entire strategy has been like, hey, we know we're the most fun con, so let's eat up your money.
But like I am at the first year I went last year, I was pissed. I was like $40. I'll just sneak in through the fence.
No, they
Nope.
don't fuck around with that.
They don't fuck around with that. No, they had
No, they don't. There's somebody we know who tried doing that this year, couldn't do it, and they immediately got stopped because
how
it's
did they
like
not beat his ass with nightsticks? That's what I want to know.
they tried. We'll give them that, but but the $40 is actually like, and people are like, oh, what's a big deal? It's just basically going to the whole water park just for basically 21 and up.
Yeah, well, it's 18 and up. It's great. There's
21
no
and up.
kid. 21 because I thought it had to be 18.
No, it's 21. I think it's 21 to buy
It's
alcohol.
21
obviously.
to you can't because they have bars in there. You can't take outside drinks or anything.
Yeah.
They check. They're very thorough.
Mhm.
Homeboy owes me dinner and a movie now. But yeah, you got to be 21 to drink. I thought it was because there were some people under 21 in there. But I like it. It's amazing. It's great. The lazy river, the hot tub, the rides are the indoor rides are open.
I almost want to like treat like the pool party at the rave sort of as like just a really expensive cover charge. Like that's almost what it is.
You're essentially paying for like the adult only water park, which is great. I like it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love sliding on those big tornado those little wave slides at 2 a.m.
Bro, there are no kids. They're like like it's great. Like a water park without children is a whole different experience.
Yeah, it was kind of funny because there was someone made a post about it on Facebook a few weeks ago. It was like, oh man, I wish they made a water park where it's nothing but adults and they get like taco trucks and like alcohol. I'm like, boy, do we got something for you?
Oh wait, hold on. No, hold on. We don't have taco trucks.
Not
now.
yet.
Not
Hopefully
yet,
one
but maybe we can start protesting. We can go out there
If
with
they
some
were- if
picket signs.
If they were smart, they would put taco trucks.
That's right. Taco Madre by Geeks 5 ever. Put on my uniform and the hat. But to kind of, I think the fact that we have so many conventions now, and we had 2 big ones, not to mention Anime Matsuri right before,
Mm-hmm.
and you had others.
Delta.
You had Delta H Con, you had BaCon, you had other non-anime conventions. You had the Houston Horror Fest,
Yeah, that
which
was
is a big one.
That was a big one. It actually, there were people who told me that they actually admitted that, yeah, I think that kind of like hurt Matsuri in attendance numbers. I mean, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I mean,
Anime Matsuri being Anime Matsuri hurt Anime Matsuri.
Yeah, that's always it. It just feels like whenever you try to everyone's afraid to compete with Matsuri. That's an anime convention, but they shoot themselves in the foot with everything that they do, right? So
people snuck into Matsuri with last year's badge.
Matspooky.
Oh, speaking of which, as 17 said, Kukui season is starting. So make sure when you go to a haunted house this year, you don't punch, assault, spit on.
Don't hurt any of them.
Or the actors, because they're just doing their job. It's not their fault you shit your pants. Well, I mean, it kind of is, but just a little bit. But
if you're going to do any of that stuff with any of the people that work there, make sure you get their number afterward.
Yep. But to go back, so I was wondering why there was a lack of panels. They only had 1 panel room, which I am not like entirely mad about because my panels did great. And actually we hit the 800 follower mark because of this weekend on Instagram.
Congrats.
And we got like 8 new subscribers on YouTube.
We're going upwards.
That's right. Not last year. When did I fire SJ?
Throwing her a bus like that.
2022, we were struggling to get followers, and now it's like it's definitely
We're
increasing.
getting
and
better. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I didn't mean to throw her under the bus like that.
Just the way you say that.
When did I fire?
So I actually have a different take on the whole panel room issue. It's just like, yeah, there's one panel room, so people were forced to hear me yap about polyamory for an hour and a half, right? But at the same time, I'm sitting there going like, I could tell there was audience members sitting down like that were clearly monogamous and wanted to argue with me, but then I didn't give them the room to argue because it was just like, I'm just saying points that they can't argue, like because I'm just giving them information. And it's just like, oh, like I'm getting more people sort of disinterested by the fact that I'm giving them real content, which feels sort of disingenuous to what a panel room should be. Like I like competing with other panels. Necessarily, not only does it give attendance goers more choices, but it also prevents the people that want to go into the panel specifically to shit on whatever thing you care about, to be able to do that. Now, granted, some panels work to that advantage. Like all Geeks panels that I know, you want the audience members to be shitting on you. Right?
Yeah, I encourage them, especially during the. Were you there for? You weren't there for Dragon Ball.
No, I wasn't.
So during the Dragon Ball panel, which did amazing, by the way, at Anime Texas, it wasn't as good as Colossal Con. Like no Dragon Ball panel I ever hosted will ever do as good as Colossal Con. But just so you're aware, like, and this is letting Sonic know, it did almost as well. Because like the audience, like we had a family there and they had 2 little girls, and they're like, yeah, they're watching Dragon Ball. She's only 6 episodes in, and she's like, this is old. Like this is old anime. And like,
She's not wrong.
One of my favorite, one of the highlights, and this was like non-Dragon Ball related, shows how much the panel can go to. There was somebody from out of state who was talking about like how like they were like ripping on HEB and like people were booing him. And then what makes it funny
This is the
is
Colossal Con panel.
yeah, and we asked him, hey, okay, where do you shop at? Walmart. And he got booed even louder.
yeah, they boot him, and then like we're like, oh, so you shop at the participation trophy of grocery stores.
Oh man, I wish I was there. What can you say bad about HEB? I'm like, I love
He was from
HEB.
a different state.
Yeah,
They don't
But
have
still,
HEB.
I mean, they should come here, see HEB, and be like, man, I
No
wish I
store
had
does
an
more.
HEB.
no store.
Fucking
Yeah, here
HEB
everything's
is
better.
amazing.
That's right. I was running from the cops, and HEB let me hide out behind the counter. They're like, what can like the more we can do for you, the customer. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Which is ironic too, because like at Colossal Con, like the HEB was like 5 minutes away from the resort.
It was but in his defense, the Walmart that was 6 minutes away from the resort was fancy as fuck. Like, I took a picture of the outside, and it's like the outside is custom made. It looks like a bunch of like condo apartment, like very homey neighborhood. Like the building was very, very custom made.
Walmart groceries are so expensive, though. I'm like, they're better on paper goods. I'm fucking poor. We're broke as shit. So I will find the cheapest stuff. We'll go to like, I know what's cheaper at Aldi. I know what's cheaper at HEB. I know what the Dollar Tree holds. And I know what like Walmart holds. So I know like, oh, we need paper towels. I know where to get them. If I'm like, oh, I need cheese. I'm like, nope, I know where to get them. So it used to be like, bam, 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 bam. But HEB is like, fuck. HEB is awesome. And the prices are awesome. And they do I drink a lot of soda, and they do the like 5.15 and stuff.
Sugar-free soda.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
now that they're doing those soda sales, I'm drinking name brand. So you saw the name brand stuff we brought.
Oh yeah, it was fancy.
We're name brand now with sodas.
No Dr. Shasta. No.
Hey, don't be
cola.
advertising that. I don't need relatives showing up all of a sudden. All right.
So at the Dragon Ball panel, Sonic, nobody here was there, but the little girl, like she was on the dad's phone, right? And I was talking about anime in Mexico, and I started talking in Spanish a little bit, and she looks up, and then she said something, and the whole panel, like I start laughing, the whole panel starts laughing with me, and I'm like, I guarantee you, when they get home, she's gonna be like, Daddy, why was the man talking Taco Bell? And everybody laughed at that. It was great. They were great sports. Like the Dragon Ball panel this year did amazing, but the best panel that I hosted was the fan fiction panel. The terrible fan fiction panel this year was amazing. The room was almost filled. It wasn't a big room, but for a con that size, that was a great crowd. And someone peer pressured me, bro, into reading the fan fiction with a Spanish accent. So I read Bill Clinton and SpongeBob again, where they hook up. And to kind of like, for those of you that are watching, to simulate the accent, I'm going to start reading the comments right now. So let me see. Do you think the fandom should focus on the adult cons more in the future? The children's museum with no kids. Sabes que I got a lot of resorts and I love the water, pero yeah, I'm way over the kids in the pool. Pero sabes, and I read it with the accent. I would say some words in Spanish, and I even changed some of the words so it would make like it would sound better with the accent. And people were like laughing, and people were walking in on like at the worst times during the story.
Oh,
And
that
it
was
was
the best
great.
part. Like
It was great.
as soon as they walk in, their reactions were the best.
Like,
The
what the
reactions were
fuck did I just walk in on? Damn.
I remember one guy walks in and in the most deadpan Hispanic accent, Goku goes, horse fucker.
I did. Was that one during the Shrek Donald Trump story?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. Apparently, John Cena's married to Doge, the dog in the story.
I feel like someone's gonna make an AI about that.
So we are going to peer pressure Suffering to do fan fiction with me in an accent as well.
So for those of you who don't know, I am of South Asian descent. And whenever I did these fan fiction panels about 10 years ago, I would often get peer pressure into using my appropriated Bollywood accent that would sound hilarious.
Give us a tidbit. Do the accent.
Peer pressure.
Do it,
Just a
do
little
it,
bit.
do it, do it, do it.
Shoot, I don't think I've ever charged higher than $30, even in Dallas for a rave. And usually I have an international headliner.
Okay,
Being
I'm
so
dragging
close
you.
to SJ has more impact in my mind.
Okay, I'm definitely dragging you to Onicon with me if they approve fan fiction. This is gonna happen. Welcome, welcome to reading fan fiction with an accent. Which
Back
one would
after
you
10
like?
years,
today?
baby. Now if I can get a cosplayer back me in a cosplay game, I'll be fully ingratiated again.
The panel was amazing. Like that was the best panel in my opinion that I've
It has
ever
inspired
hosted.
me to write again.
I am going to I was like, we're both like, we're going to write some fan. I used to write erotica, and I was like, I'm just going to go through my old erotica and just change up some of the characters.
Why does everybody want to write smut? Like I'm tired of reading smut.
Shit's hilarious.
It is
Oh man, mine are pretty bad. He's Mullet is saying that he's gonna write some. He'll probably tone it down a little bit. I am trying to figure out what these. One time I went to a bad fan fiction reading, and the audience read it, and I'm trying to figure out who fucking hosted this because apparently I was a very bad audience member, very bad participant.
Yeah, whoever
I
was
don't
hosting, she bullied them into basically, no line. It's my turn now. Just walked up, sat down, started reading.
I remember you.
I don't
telling me
remember it. I don't remember it, but I kind of remember. See, in my mind, I sat down. I did a really good job reading the one story, whatever it was, and then I went and sat down and was a good girl. That's what I think. He's like, no, you fucking went up there. You were like, just grabbed everything. You just started reading it. Did I read it good or was I?
I mean, little from column A, little from column B. We knew what you were saying, and it was funny, but there was some in the middle.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's not how you described it to me. When you told me the story, you pretty much juggernauted your way to the stage.
That's
It was
that's what he says. That's what I hear. But
Like, it
in
was
my
like-
brain, I don't remember that.
if you had background music, it would have been like, "Move, bitch, get out the way, bitch, get out the way." So yeah, that's what I heard. But the so because the convention had the main events room and one panel room, they were very, very picky on what panels they were going to allow in. I'm happy to say that there were very few, like a handful of VTuber panels. If were there any at all?
No, there weren't.
Oh, I thought there was like at least 2.
They didn't even have a VTuber guest. It was like complete detachment from VTubers.
Yeah,
I'm
they
not
all
trying to
would've been
hate
other
on
than, like,
okay, it makes it sound like I'm hating on VTubers.
You kind of are sometimes, though.
What the fuck do y'all want from me?
Why did
No,
they
it's
only
just
have
like-
2 rooms? Like the hotel had plenty of like doors, like so. I'm assuming they had plenty
A
of
lot
rooms.
of them weren't like a lot of them were like because a lot of panel rooms and like events rooms like those, they have backstage areas where they store tables and chairs and shit like that. And they had a
and
whole
Halcyon
room.
does take up a lot of space whenever they guest. So
Mhm.
I mean, technically they had the special events room as well, but I think
But-
they only did karaoke and the pre-judge or whatever that was for in there.
Well, you
which
can't
I would have
really.
really liked if they did more with that room. It was just like it was kind of like that typical like hotel bar kind of hangout area. So
Mhm.
I sort of understand why they did it.
I think, yeah, I think because that one, like, would you really run the risk of Weaves going in there and breaking shit, especially that 80-inch TV?
Yeah.
I mean,
That was a
it
nice
got broken.
TV.
I had to get it out of the way. I haven't seen it since. I don't know.
Because
I
I think
don't
it would have been cool to have like if you wanted to run that side programming, maybe like take all the standing tables out of the way and just kind of have like a little bit of like a mixer or a dance for like an hour or 2.
I do have some things to say about the karaoke, but I'm going to wait till a little bit later. I didn't have a lot of problems with the con itself. Maybe just the badge thing because I like to collect the badges.
Yeah.
Because the con was small, and this is me being selfish. Everything was a tad bit cheaper, so I was able to actually get some stuff. Because I left for the gym for almost 3 hours, I did miss a big chunk of the con.
Yeah. Like I would kind of the cosplay contest, like that took up a lot of shit. So I missed a lot of the con too because that took
but
a
you came
long
out a winner.
time.
Yeah, you came out. You went in there a novice and came out a champion.
Yeah, it's
He
funny
says
because
it took up a lot of time. It took up the entire day because that was one thing. Until it was over, that was her everything.
Oh, you can
Yeah.
ask anyone that's a panelist. Like you can't do both panels and cosplay contests.
It is nearly impossible unless you have handlers.
Mhm.
But I mean, like literally most pro cosplayers I know, like they will go to a convention, they'll hang out and have fun at a convention, but their entire Saturday is dedicated to the contest, and that's normal.
right, and then panelists, they always schedule a lot of us at the same time as the cosplay competition. It's very rare that we have a big enough time gap between panels to be able to do a cosplay competition.
yeah, that was my first time. I've only actually watched like 2 or 3. So I was kind of nervous because I was like, I should have watched more cosplay contest. But so it was the first one I've ever been in. So it did take a lot of time. And I needed, needed my handler and the person who, made that with me the whole time.
How many people were in the contest?
Not that many.
It was
but-
like 20.
Not that many, but I think that even if there's more, I think that he would have won novice. Like when they said, sounds so shitty. When they said novice, because they had us sitting on the floor, I already started standing up because I was that fucking confident. I already started standing up. And when they started, describing it, and I stood all the way up, I was like, I knew it because it was amazing. It was amazing.
I told you before y'all went down there that you were going to win.
It was amazing.
Because we
I
were
think he's
down
gonna
there.
go get it.
He's gonna.
I do appreciate when smaller cons get the entire attention of the con and being like cosplay contest, the only thing that's going on, because it gives the cosplayers more of a spotlight and really gives them a place at the convention. Because I'll be honest, as a panelist, normally they either cross me with the cosplay contest, or the only time I actively make an effort to go to a cosplay contest is when I'm either A, handling for someone, or B, emceeing the contest itself. So
yeah, same boat, except I'm either A, in the competition, or B, I am either running the halftime show or I was a judge.
Yeah.
It's so hard to do cosplay competitions whenever. That's why you can't really do both anymore. So like Sonic, whenever we're at a con together, I really rely on him to kind of get more of an experience of the convention than I can, because whenever I have panels, I am focused solely
on the
on the
panels.
panels.
Yeah.
And it's like I very like not just on the panels, like whenever I'm at a con, I'm trying to avoid people who like harass the fuck out of me about certain conventions who I'm no longer gonna name for the rest of the show. Because like, hey, did you hear about this convention? They took a big shit and there was corn in it. I don't care. Obviously, they didn't say that to me. I'm using that as an exaggeration, but
we're going to support who we want to support. And then if you follow our social medias, you'll know exactly where we stand on particular conventions. Like that's when you're a regular panelist like that, it's just like, hey, you'll see us a lot of the time, but you'll also probably know why we aren't at a certain convention. So,
right. I mean, I'll support an ass whooping before I'll support Anime Matsuri. Damn, I just said their name. Free
I
We
think so
all,
much
I
for
think
the
we all
not
know.
being named.
So.
Yeah, it's a running joke. It is a running joke. But so because I was at prejudging with y'all. We
Yeah.
were standing in line. They prejudged you for like, it was a little bit longer than 2 minutes. It didn't seem like there were a lot of people. It felt like there were more people in the contest later on than there were actually standing in line when we were there.
Yeah.
And then we hung out. Like the con was great. Like I enjoyed the dealer's room because the dealer's room had a lot of shit that I like. The voice actors and actresses, I once again didn't care for because they only had one that I cared for, and he played Captain Ginyu, and I'm like, I don't have. Here's the thing: I bought a figure. I was gonna buy a Trunks figure for 125, and they sold it, so I ended up buying 3 for 135 instead. And it's really cool because one of them is Mr. Satan driving a car, and Majin Buu like popped out of the roof of the car, and it's like rolled up like a can. It's a really cool figure. It's
I mean,
so
he is a big blob. It makes sense.
it's really cool. I have everything on display now. Like I found room in my room for him, so now it's like a pain in the ass to get him because every time I move a figure, like 5 will fall off the shelf, and it pisses me off.
That's what a veteran weeb struggle is. That's what that is.
Moving shit around. Like, crap,
The thing that I'm like, oh, this has a good base. You know, I love a figure with a good base because they're so hard to like put all together and stuff. So that's what I'm like. I'm like, damn, that's a good base. And I want him
Well, think about it. From the land of Japan, they have to make good bases for expensive figures because they have to be earthquake proof, right?
Mm-hmm.
I never thought about it, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I never thought of that either. But yeah, good base is like I love that. And I'm trying to get him to try to 3D print some bases, like custom, so we could fit more figures, you know.
Just stack them on top of each other. Stack the smaller ones on top of the bigger ones.
Now,
That's
we're
what
not
I
quite
do.
that packed in just yet, but
No, that's what
it's a
I
good
do.
idea.
Like they're standing on each other, and like that's how I'll do a video of my room of every figure. Like they are packed together. Perry the platypus is over there hanging out next to 80s Splinter. I wanted that figure, by the way. He has an afro and a mustache. It's from the movie The
Perry
Ninja
or
Turtles.
Splinter?
Mutant
It's
Mayhem.
Splinter. Yeah, Mutant Mayhem. It's whenever there's a scene where he's in the 80s and he has an afro and a mustache.
A flashback.
It's a flashback, and they made it into a figure, and I wanted it because he has a fro and a mustache. He's like every 80s dad ever.
Man, there was a figure on Friday. I'm like, okay, I want that. It was Urza, and it was like her full offense armor, right? And I was like, I want that. I'm gonna wait till Sunday because they go on sale, a lot of times. Went there, it was already sold, and there was no sales. Like usually on Sunday, people start putting things on sale. There was nothing. I paid full price for everything I bought.
So the rumor is a lot of stuff was already on sale.
I don't know, it
To
seemed
make up
about
for-
right with the figures. The prices seemed about on par with other convention prices.
If it makes you feel better, I went back to buy trunks and he was gone.
Yeah, I wanted that. I wanted that Urza. But I mean, I'm glad with the figures, I got. And then I picked out 2. I wanted 3, but I was like, no, I can only afford 2. We can only afford 1, so I got 2.
I
that's
posted
average
on the
price.
Discord show and tell because after y'all text us, we left the con, right? And so we decided to go eat because we hadn't eaten all day. We went to Hart's Buffet and got some chicken. We got some chicken.
Y'all got chicken too?
Yeah, we got chicken. Oh yeah, you text me like fuck you. We
Yeah,
got
Yeah, we
I
went
was
to
Popeyes.
like,
Popeyes.
we ate at Popeyes and it's your fault because you were talking shit about Raising Cane's and then you were like, well, Popeyes. I'm like, fuck, I haven't had Popeyes in forever. So we
Well-
go there, we drop like $50. I've never ever spent that much at a fast food place ever. So I'm like, man, we just dropped $50 at Popeyes and it's your damn fault. It wasn't that good. And I wasn't even hungry.
We're still eating it. 'Cause
Let me see. Let me get this. I want to show you the Majin Buu real quick, Sonic, because I think you'd
To
appreciate
be fair, if you're going to Popeyes, you go there for the sandwiches. Otherwise, like if you're not used to the chicken, it's very much an acquired taste sometimes.
It depends on where you go.
See,
That's true, but it also like depends on the location. Like the ghettoer the location, the better the chicken.
that's probably
it-
our problem. We
Facts.
went to a brand new store up in
yeah, it
Conroe.
wasn't spicy enough. And the thing is, like, I don't like buying fried chicken because I make the best fried chicken. I make the best fried chicken. It is my love language. I am really good at it. I can make a low carb fried chicken too. I'm just really good at frying chicken. I will toot my horn on that one. So we don't really buy fried chicken that often.
There it is.
Oh, this is when Goku was
That's
still
cute.
dead.
That's
Hercule
hilarious.
Satan, because he's nervous. Like,
Yeah, this is these are the 2 other ones I got. So I got these the trunks, Goku Black and Majin Buu for like 135, and then this one was the guy wanted 120, and my buddy who's a masseuse who was right across pitched in so I could get this Goku Ultra Instinct.
That's awesome.
And then I'm an idiot because we went to after we bought some chicken, we went to stupid Ross,
Ross.
and
'Cause
then we went to Five and Below.
Yeah, because people are surprised. Like Ross and like some of these discount places are actually having like figurines and stuff.
Yes, we were supposed to go to Ross today to check out because we have 2 Rosses in Conroe, and we were gonna check them out, but we fucking slept all day.
This is
So
Five and Below. The little
It's five
Sonic
five
duck.
below.
yeah,
Below.
Five
Oh,
Below has some cool stuff too.
and then here's a fucking Ross.
Yeah, the gummies and all that.
The Sailor Moon figure surprised the hell out of me.
Oh, dude, they got a lot of them. I saw one of Sailor Venus, and I saw one of Kagome from Inuyasha at Ross earlier. I think it was yesterday.
Five Below as well.
Yeah,
Dude,
Five
I
Below.
found the red Turbo Power Ranger. That thing's going for like $40 on Amazon. I found it at Ross for $8.
We got a Aaron Yeager at Ross, but they had a lot of other stuff, but that was like the only thing we could get, and that was like last month.
Yeah.
And I got to check it out again. I'm like so upset that we slept all day because I really want to go and see what our Rosses have.
So
I
if
found-
anyone finds any Dragon Ball stuff, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt Sonic. If
Oh, no,
anybody
I was
finds
like,
any Dragon Ball stuff, please let me know.
yeah. And the stuff I find at Ross too is like I found wrestling figures. Normally they go for like $20. They're like $4 a piece.
Oh, you need a Jack Hager? Hagar?
Nah, no.
He looks like ass anyway.
Yeah, he looks like ass, and I got the rare of it.
So they had a rare, like it wasn't rare, but it's like expensive. It's Trunks with the short hair, but he's got the Saiyan armor on,
Mhm.
and this little 10-year-old, I don't know, maybe younger, had it, and he's an anime fan. Like, oh, Trunks, I want Goku. I want Goku. I hope they have Goku. He's looking everywhere for Dragon Ball stuff, right?
Yeah.
And as a Dragon Ball fan, you'd think like, man, I'm so proud that this kid loves Dragon Ball Z. So happy. Nope. Nope. The entire time I'm fucking frowning and mean mugging the shit out of him. And I asked 17, you think if I spear the fuck out of him, I'll go to jail?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, so I was like, I was staring at his mom's cart because I was waiting for him to put it in the cart. And so whenever she turns her back, I was going to go and snag it. He never put it down. I was so pissed. Then he found the Frieza in the picture that the picture I
Uh-huh.
showed you. He found that Frieza, and me and Eric and 17 were looking at anime figures. Oh, he's like, oh, I don't want it. And then he hands it to Eric. Do y'all guys want it? Eric's like, thanks, bro. And I turn around and look at 17. I'm like, okay, the kid gets to live today. Speaking of the devil,
Yeah,
there
I was
he
gonna
is,
say,
17.
speaking of.
I was telling them about how I almost I was talking to you about attacking the kid for the Trunks figure yesterday at Ross. He's like, Jesse, it's just a fucking figure. No, it's Dragon Ball. I was here first on this planet. I should get it. No shame. No shame. Anyways, back to the con. I liked it. I walked into your polyamorous suffering. I walked into your polyamorous, and I really liked the conversation we had about the whole thing. That was very enlightening. I really like the panels that are kind of not just educational, but they kind of open your horizon to new things and new stuff. I think this year there was a pretty good, like all the panels like were pretty good. For one, they were very picky this year. The only panel that I hosted that did like subpar, like me, was A Hill I Would Die On, and that's because that was Sunday afternoon. People were already packing up the dealers' rooms, like they were already packing up their booths at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So like, I mean, I did get a good size. I got like 15 people. That's good
Well,
enough.
I mean, it was enough to fill the time up and almost go over. So, like, there's enough people.
They were upset at me, by the way. They were like, I showed up 2 minutes before start, and they were saying my name. Oh yeah, the guy's name is Jesse. Oh hi, that's me. Oh, you're the host? Yes. You're late. No, it starts at 2. I'm here on time. Like, no, but you have to be here 15 minutes early. For what? For sound check, setup? Oh, I'm not setting up anything, and I don't need a mic.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay. Like I think I felt like they were kind of like like kind of annoyed or disappointed. Like, oh, I don't set up anything, and I don't use a mic. And then the guy that runs the sound check, he's like, oh, I know who you are.
He was cool.
Yeah,
He's a
like
cool guy.
That's just kind of what Megan does, though, right? The programming director for all of fandom stuff.
mhm.
She's just kind of like, oh, we want to make sure everything's on point and everything's ticking all the boxes and doing all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And sometimes I have to tell her, be like, Megan, you've seen me like 2 or 3 times in the same panel room this weekend. I don't need another sound check.
Right. And like, because I guess they didn't recognize me at first, but once they realized who I was, then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, he doesn't use any of the equipment. He's the loud, obnoxious one I was telling you about. I was like, that's me. Like even San Japan staff have acknowledged the fact that I don't need a microphone, bro. We could hear you 2 floors down. You don't need a mic. It's not for me. It's for the people that come up and talk because they need the mic. I don't. I really do like the. Obviously, one panel room is going to hurt the experience for a lot of people, but like not everyone goes to a con for panels. I will admit that there are people that only go to cons for the dealer's room, that only go to walk around the hallways, to go for the room parties. Obviously, this was more of a family-friendly convention, and there were a lot of people not 21 and up there. So, like, I don't think there were any room parties whatsoever.
Not that we knew of.
Well, they were asking us if we were going to throw one. I said, I'll think about it.
Unless you count, hanging out in the lobby till like 3 a.m.
which is like normal for a fandom con.
Right. With that couple, we didn't even know. I just met them on the fly.
Yeah, like for like the whole time we were there, I thought like, oh yeah, some guy Goku
yeah.
knows.
Yeah, because you asked me like, so, like, didn't you ask me like, oh, how do you know them? I don't.
They're like, oh, all right then.
Because,
I don't remember that much, but there was that. He's like, there's that other girl that was hanging out with us, and apparently I brought all the snacks and pizza down, and then like he's like, yeah, you we talked to that couple for a long time. There's another girl there, and then someone else, and we were all just hanging out, and you went to like I was like, huh, what happened to like everything? He's like, you brought all the snacks and all the pizza down to the lobby. I'm like, oh well, good, because we didn't want to bring it back, but I don't remember that shit. I don't remember. I remember the last thing I remember is the fan fiction panel, and then it's just like
a big blur.
Yep.
So you missed so you don't remember the part where in the dance floor I had to take off my boots, and then like I started dancing and I bent backwards on my knees and like.
No, I do remember some of the rave. I remember some of that. I forgot that was afterwards.
It was like insane amounts of bass in a carpeted room. I'm like,
oh, it was great.
Once
I took off my boots with my socks on, I was sliding on the floor. It was great. Because I had to take off my my Chuntaro boots because they're steel toes. They're size 13, so they weigh like they have a good amount of weight on them. But no, yeah, I mean the rain was okay. The only, and I'm sorry guys if they're watching. Josh, I'm sorry. The complaint I have is karaoke. Like I know the people that run it are staff. They're awesome. They're cool. They're great. But like, and I know who sang 3 times. He's one of my friends. But like one of the cardinal rules of karaoke is that if people have signed up more than once, they're kind of shoved to the back of the list.
Yeah, there was a lot of people that just the little time we were there that was going twice, 3 times,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Luffy went twice. And
I know, like whenever we walked in, you had said, "Hey, they're full, no more." I was like, "Oh, yeah, well, all right then."
Oh, okay.
Whenever I run karaoke, I actually have an even harsher rule. Is just like if I see you sitting together with a group, only one person from your group. Otherwise, I'm bumping you down on the list.
I mean, I'll let you join another group and sing. I'm okay with that. But if I see your name on the list twice, you're getting bumped. And I can understand like catering to staff, catering to guests, because we do that too. But like the one thing that we do with my karaoke that kind of stands, our last song has everyone singing it together. Like for when we do Linkin Park, which is the end. All right, this is our last song of the night, so everyone get on the stage, and let's all everyone gets together, and we all sing, and it's like a big old like not a mosh pit, but kind of like gives off that vibe, and it gets everyone. Everyone participates with the final song, whether you got to sing or not. You at least got to come on stage and participate at some and like we do other group effort songs, like we do the Bad Bitch round where we play Lady Gaga Bad Romance. And we like, all right, I need all the bad bitches on the stage. And then the stage gets crowded and they all sing Bad Romance. So that's things that we kind of do to help get people involved more that normally wouldn't, like they sign up so late that they don't actually get to sing. So we are able to, we pull an AEW for you wrestling fans out there. We just shove a bunch of people in the ring so they can all be a part of the show.
Yeah, the thing that I try to avoid with karaoke whenever it's run is basically you have that tendency of like all of like there's like a group of like 5-7 people and they like all sign up at the same time. They all do their songs in a line and then they all walk out after the last person's done. That's what I try to avoid to make sure that we have more people participating and having conversations like about what's happening in the karaoke room or singing along and stuff. So that's one reason I have that rule personally is because I don't want just like a back-to-back and you're just going to dip out of karaoke, because that to me makes the experience a lot less fun because you're not actually getting to know people or getting that vibe. if just all of your same friends are just going in a row and you're just going to leave.
Mm-hmm. I
Oh,
agree.
that makes sense. That makes sense.
I
Never even thought
tried.
about that.
That's why we try to do so many of the the round the group songs to get the crowd, and it works for the most part. If you were at Delta at karaoke, for anyone that's watching, you saw like as soon as we do like a community, we call them the community songs, right? People do participate and act out, and they're like, I don't just host, right? I'll take the mic and I'll tell a joke or two here or there, or like I'll get the crowd involved somehow. Like all of my panels are very, very fan interactive. Like I will either ask, like I'll have you participate in some way, or I'll ask you to roast me or something. But I always encourage people to like at the last one, what was it? Was it fan fiction? Was like, if you want to roast me, do it. Good luck. Try it. See what happens.
You're gonna end up in the corner with the horse.
Yeah, the dude
Yeah.
that didn't he like molest the horse?
Yes.
I think there was a couple people.
He was the same guy that wore the pink shirt at A Hill I Would Die On.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, you're dressed like Tim. Why do you look like Timmy Turner's dad? And the MC for the cosplay competition was behind the curtain getting some stuff. He hears me say that and laughs so fucking loud. He's like, I'm done.
Corey will laugh at anything, though, to be fair.
Yes.
That's his name. I was all day yesterday. I'm like, what the fuck is his name?
To go back to like your karaoke and stuff, I think that when I get up there, I try to get other people to sing with me. I'm always like, come on, we could. The people that wouldn't sing, I try to get them to sing with me. And there's been other karaoke things where I get people to come with me. I think, I don't know. I feel like I have a lot of energy,
You got a pretty good
and I'm getting
success rate.
people up there. But then I don't know. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm just like, come on. But I always try to do that too. I try to get people. One time at karaoke, I had, when you do the Pokemon song, you gotta have a lot of people come up with you, which Pokemon is cool. Pokemon's cool.
What's your favorite Pokemon?
Swear to God, if you say
Far-fetched.
Vaporeon. Okay, good. Chicken. Your favorite Pokemon is chicken.
It's Blaziken.
It's a duck, actually.
It's
but, yeah.
Farfetch'd.
Spicy chicken.
Blaziken.
It's
Like-
spicy duck. It's duck with a
Right.
leak.
Yeah, it is.
I have 5 Pokemon tattoos, but I don't have my favorite. I don't have Farfetch'd.
Farfetch'd.
She does have a
That-
Vaporeon tattoo, though.
That does sound far fetched.
Ah.
There you
You
go.
know,
There.
when people ask me, I usually say, okay, but it's a little far-fetched. But I wasn't going to do that. But yeah, and it's a dumb reason too. When I was a kid, I didn't know that you could teach like the TM fly, that you could teach it to, several Pokemon. So, I mean, I didn't know. I was just learning RPGs, right?
Oh, yeah, I
And
mean that
so-
was. If you think about it, it's pretty much how the first Pokemon was. It was supposed to. It was like a teaching game in a way.
Yeah,
Was it-
so I taught Farfetch'd Fly, and that's all I used, and he was awesome, and I was like, yeah, this is my favorite Pokemon, and then he still is just stuck.
And
I gotta get a
when
tattoo
Gen
of
1,
him.
you finally got the critical hit hacks down, and you realize Slash was OP.
I always imagine as a kid that because Pokemon came out and it was we didn't get 98 and we didn't get gold and silver till I was in middle school. So whenever it said critical hit, I imagined the Pokemon just hit each other in the nuts by mistake. Critical hit. Oh,
That's the most middle school thing you could think, right?
yeah. It's like, oh, he got hit in the dick. That's what happened. It's critical. It's effective. It's good. So I'm not gonna go into detail. I didn't get to experience the full rave. My Saturday night got kind of ruined, unfortunately. And I was having fun at the rave. I usually don't like raves. For the most part, because it's always like a circle and that one person dancing. And I think like this was kind of the case, but that girl, I don't know her name.
The belly dancer.
Yes, she
Yeah,
was.
that's one thing fandom does really well is they always have somebody to kind of help out and keep up the energy, whether it's like a professional belly dancer or just a general party starter that can like.
Oh, to answer this next question, I'm not going. I'm not going to Anime
I
Houston.
think out of the 5 of us, I'm the only one going. Probably.
I think Sonic is going.
Nope.
Yeah,
No.
we're not going.
Right. It's not,
Nope.
I mean, it's not like in my plans, or anything like that. I kind of forgot it was happening this weekend. I thought it was happening like later this month or something like that. Because I know the next con I may be going to is Animeverse, just for like one day.
I thought you were going to pinball.
Probably, I don't know, maybe for the swap meet because they're doing a swap meet at the pinball expo.
Time to hit up Ross.
I will go to Animeverse when they have real panels.
Exactly.
Damn.
Exactly. We went to the
I
first
guess
one
they
in
have that
Pasadena.
tradition.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
first.
We walked in there and then we were there for what? We weren't there for shit. And then we gave our badges to someone and then we just hung out in our hotel because there was no panels. It was just pay for the voice actors, that's all. And I was like, fuck this thing.
Yeah, that's what it, because the first time I went was in 2022. We saw it. We were like, this is basically a trade show with if you're looking to get an autograph show, basically.
Exactly.
That's the best way to describe it. And they do have vendors and all that stuff, but then it was like a little compressed per se because it was at the Pasadena Convention Center. But when they did it this year at NRG Center, it actually was more open, and they did have like a cosplay contest. They did have like a stage, somewhat of a panel stage, but obviously it was so loud you couldn't really hear.
Yeah, my daughter wants to go, and I was like, ew, no, because you know how they're doing them every season now. And she said that they're advertising that they'll have panels at the next one. So I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll believe it when I see it, but the biggest indication of whether or not you're going to a real convention or not is if their programming actually looks like they have panels going on. And this is what I always tell people. It's like, this is how you tell the difference between a convention and a trade show. Because if you don't see real programming on the schedule, then it's just a trade show.
Yep. It's a glorified flea market you got to buy an entry pass to.
Yeah, it's like dealer's room on steroids. That's what I was like. It's just big.
Ain't nothing there I can't get at the Purga for half price. Where's my
Yeah, but they do them through the year, and I wish other conventions would go to winter and spring. Damn it!
It's because the Christmas season nobody really has a lot of money.
Yeah, well, I think that'd be a good Christmas gift, like if they did them.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, yeah, a good Christmas gift would be that. I mean, we're spending money on gifts for people, and people that like to go to conventions can be like, well, this is what I want for Christmas.
But also another thing too is just the reason most of these conventions happen in the summer too is because kids are out of school for the summer.
Mm-hmm.
That's even more reason that I would like to have a winter con.
Fandom is really the only organization or company that I know that actually has the guts to do something that's in winter, because the main Ecchi Expo San Antonio, is in winter, and then OkiCon is also New Year's weekend every single year. So that's why I always have respect for them, and that's why, like, even as we're reviewing Anime Texas, I'm like, I appreciate what they do because they're willing to put cons out there where people are too afraid of doing it because of whatever the season is, right? And I'll have some respect for Anime Dallas for doing that as well, because they always do it during Thanksgiving weekend. But like,
yeah, but
Anime
that's
Dallas
fucking hotel, bro.
beast. Yeah,
Anime Dallas's hotel, man. We got the suite, and they charged us $500 for the fucking deposit.
It is the Grand Hyatt at Reunion Tower. It's literally one of the hotels that pretends they're the fanciest in the state, when in reality they're just a good convention space, and then they just the prices indicate that.
They're full of shit because when A-Fest was there, they never did that. But it's definitely a lot fancier. So now. But speaking of anime, speaking of Ecchi Expo, at some point in the very, very, very near future, Geeks 5 will be giving away a free pass to Ecchi Expo San Marcos, San Antonio. How? We don't know. When? We don't know. But we're working on it. Stay tuned. We'll do some kind of free contest during the podcast. You can win a free trip, badge only. We're not paying for your hotel room.
Hotels in San Marcos are ridiculous now. So no.
Yeah. And we might we're not paying for your transportation there. If we see you on the side of the road hitchhiking, we'll wave. But that's the best I can do.
Rip
But yeah,
Greyhound and Megabus leaving.
Flexbus, do that one. They're cheaper.
Yeah,
They're cool.
and Megabus, they're not doing it here in Texas anymore.
Yeah, Rip Megabus. Rip Megabus. We got Flexbus. We might have Greyhound, but Greyhound is like,
Hit or miss, yeah.
The Greyhound station here is no longer Greyhound in downtown. It's just the
It's
bus.
just a generic bus station. Yeah.
Yeah. They don't even check your bags for weapons anymore. Somebody was doing meth in the damn
I
bathroom.
mean, that's Kimochi-con vibes, right?
We're supposed to be working with them. Stop. Anyways, so
I mean, that thing happened, so.
I lost my train of thought. Yes, sponsorship. Yay. We're giving away free badges, and we're giving away so as we come closer to the conventions, we are giving away a free badge to, we're going to try to give away a free badge to UshiCon in Round Rock. We're going to give away a free badge to Anime Tyler, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
UshiCon's in South Austin, by the way, not Round Rock.
I thought the sign said Round Rock.
It's not Kalahari, no. That's IkiCon is in Round Rock.
Oh,
I know, but like Round Rock is the city, not the resort.
Isn't it all just Travis County though?
Yeah,
They just like jump up on
basically.
It's
it?
all just Travis County, but UshiCon is actually in Austin. They didn't do what the other cons did and fled to Kalahari, okay?
No.
What? Man, am I dumb? I mean, no, don't answer that. That's right. So it is. Where's the actual address? Wyndham something Garden, Austin, Texas. Oh, okay. The sign I saw was old and it said Round Rock. I need to change it. I need to update my advertisements. Yes. So Austin, you know what? It's somewhere in Texas. Damn it.
It is somewhere in the Austin metro area, yes. And somewhere
Right
in the
on
Round Rock,
35.
Austin, San
Hop
Marcos
on your
area.
fancy computer Terminator phones. Type in UshiCon King Mexico panels, and the thing should tell you make a left turn at Fun Street and not a right turn into bullshit avenue known as Anime Matsuri.
Skynet will tell you the way.
Yeah, Skynet wants you to have fun and party and destroy your livers because it's cheaper and more efficient if you just destroy yourselves rather than them just nuking the world. BotCon had a fun rave. The thing that weird, like the rave was cool, but I just got weirded out because I didn't expect the burlesque show and the rave to be in the same room. So I was like, whoa. But we did talk to Bacon. So whenever there's more information about BotCon and whenever they figured stuff out, we have offered our services to host karaoke for them.
Was it same
And-
room, same time
Same room, same time. What?
for the burlesque and the
Yeah,
neat?
it was interesting. I'm not a burlesque fan per se.
I
But
just don't appreciate going to burlesque shows and anime conventions because they're always so crowded. And it's just like there's a line for the same burlesque show that I have access to at any other convention that is also not a professional burlesque show. It's kind of people that are still amateurs but are still good. It's just like there's this weird disconnect with when we do burlesque shows at anime cons. It's like, where do we go from here, right?
right. You're right. And we have another question from what's up, Pachinko, by the way. Pachinko says Galarian Farfetch'd is cool.
Yeah, it's a fighting duck.
Yeah.
It's spicy chicken.
Yeah,
With the celery.
Spicy duck.
It's the duck that wants to throw hands. Yeah.
Yeah, with celery.
It's a goose. It's a goose. It's a goose. Will Bacon throw it at the same hotel, you think? I don't know.
The hotel itself is not bad. I just think there's some organizational things with that hotel that need to be reworked a little bit.
I think they should host it at the West Chase Marriott, just like everyone else has been doing, because that is like the best location for like any small convention. It's not too big. There's plenty of panel rooms. you have enough space to have a good sized dealer room, a good sized main event room, and enough panel rooms to accommodate all the big panelists that sign up. And there's plenty. There's like the lobby's very great for hanging out. There's food. There's a grocery store that's a 10-minute walk. They have everything nearby, so I think
I like the
Chase-
venue itself, but I always think it's Delta's venue. Like I never, no con that's been there has ever distinguished themselves enough to replicate the type of special energy that Delta sort of has with that venue. So I feel like it always is just a downgrade from Delta whenever
To
someone
me,
takes that venue.
to me, it's always been only that was always. I'll always remember it. I know Delta's there and they've utilized it to its. They utilize it the best. But the first time I went to that hotel was for OniCon. The first year they were there.
When OniCon was still in Houston.
Yes. It was 2009. They were at that location because 2008 was the last year they were at the George R. Brown Convention Center. Because they had it in December because of Hurricane Ike.
Mhm.
I think maybe I could see, like, we'll see what Bacon does. Obviously, it's going to be a while because, they got to. Bacon has to also take in consideration that fucking the vultures that are Comic Palooza, Anime Matsuri, and other several conventions are now moving into June and July. Next year is going to be an interesting year. Next year is going to be a fight for a lot of these conventions.
Yeah. I mean,
Obviously-
Bacon has always told me he wants to stay on that weekend because of his personal association with the weekend, and also that he wants to stay on the southeast side of town in some way, shape, or form and capacity. So to me, it's like, all right, you've given yourself that niche, but I always tell him, like, your growth potential is kind of limited because you're also always going to be on AX weekend.
I think he's going to have to switch dates because next year isn't Anime Matsuri on that date?
No, it's the weekend after.
That's
It would literally go, if he keeps to a same weekend, it would go Bacon, Matsuri, Delta.
what was the convention before? Oh, it was BotCon. Before BotCon, and then it was Etchy Expo Dallas before BotCon.
Right.
Yeah. Oh my god. Some of these conventions week after week.
And like that's what's really hurting the market. So do I like to answer one of the earlier questions earlier? Do I think all this is going to hurt Anime Houston? Yes, absolutely. I think it's going to hurt Anime Houston.
I think Anime Houston probably did enough to hurt itself from what they did last year. And that's what's going to hurt Anime Houston, what Anime Houston did. So
What happened last year?
So last year, they were at Delta's venue. They were at the Marriott West Chase, right? And basically, they kind of gave a middle finger to every longtime panelist and said, "Oh, if you have experience running panels, we don't want you."
Oh shit, they fucked up. I'm gonna start a YouTube channel called "Dumb Shit That You Shouldn't Do." First episode, Anime Houston.
No, I know all kind of dumb stuff you shouldn't do. I'm
That's
good
right.
at that.
You shouldn't. Wait, actually, I didn't act stupid at all this weekend. Holy fuck!
No, you're pretty good.
Yeah, you were
That was
very
a good
level-headed
one.
this weekend, actually.
Yeah, except for
I
the
was pretty
panic
good
attack.
too.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
It was good.
You deserve a treat. Somebody give her like a Scooby snack.
Yeah, I think I was pretty good. I didn't cause
got
any
some
kind
leftover
of
chicken.
drama or anything.
What video was it where they're like, "Do you want a Scooby snack?" And he's like, "Bitch, did you just try to give me a motherfucking dog treat?"
Okay, dog treats. HEB has the best dog treats. They're so good. They're like
How the hell
Cuban
do you know
grade.
that?
Yeah, I was gonna ask
I hate them.
that.
They're so good. They're human grade, and they're better than like cookies. We have like
edible,
maple.
basically.
Yeah,
Look, I
they
think we're
yeah.
already giving too much fan service to the Chainsaw Man fans in the audience because they love these dog treats.
Yeah,
They're good. They're good. If you have a dog, go to HEB, get them their human grade. Like, oh, see, he's got one. He's gonna eat it. It's fucking delicious. They're like, that's the bacon maple one. They're so good. I only eat
That's
like
maple.
I mean, I don't eat them,
Maple.
but I've because I don't know their calorie count and shit like that. But
We are
I'll
all just
indulge.
Norval Rogers, I guess.
Yeah, they're good. So that's another thing HEB does really good. They make good dog treats.
I done goof. Now I got all the pugs right here.
All right. So now let's cover the good, the bad, and the official review. So starting with Mr. Clint or Mullet.
Let's see. The good. We won the contest. That was good. Um, Overall, I think I had a great time. Like the circus, I can't remember the name of it, but they put on a good show. 'Cause that's the only thing we did Friday, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I still
Bad.
hate that fucking circus.
I like the thing is I like their things that they do. Like, okay, that's cool. I want to see that. They drug it for so long and they're not funny. It's not funny, but the tricks are really cool. But it's like there's 5 minutes of bullshit before they do something cool. And I'm not like circus performers. I'm like, just do your trick because it gives me really anxiety when they act like they don't do it every fucking day and they act like,
Oh wait, I saw.
ooh, all
There's
scared.
4 of
I
them,
can't I can't
and they have to give
stand
each
that.
other a chance to recover from the last one. So that's what the break in conversations. That's what I see it as.
Well, the whole nervousness of them acting all nervous, like they fucking don't do that every weekend. I don't know. It gives me anxiety. It gives me anxiety.
Everything does though. The audio video dude, he was awesome.
Yeah, he was great.
I don't know his name, but special shout out to that guy. Let's see. On the not so good stuff, there's the wristband badge thing. That was like a shock to me. That's the first time I've ever got something like that at a con. Let's see.
I've gotten that from a con that was quintuple the size of this one. So
Wow.
There are arcades, not just the one that they mentioned, the arcade pinball expo. I don't know if it was that one or a different one, but some of the arcade conventions, the retro ones, they do wristbands. I wasn't too like critical on them for the wristband thing, but I was disappointed honestly because I collect the badges.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I know, for example, Retropalooza, they do the lanyards and the passes themselves. Pinball, the Houston Arcade, I think it depends on like if you're gonna go for one day, they'll give you the wristbands. They don't have like a Saturday, a Friday, or a Sunday, if I remember correctly. I don't know if they do give out badges anymore. I don't know. I'm not sure.
It's because they're honestly expensive. If you're not making like the revenue to justify a badge, then it's not really worth it. But Sonic, I forgot to tell you that when we got our wristbands this weekend for the con, I told 17 and he started making fun of me. Him and Asian started making fun of me. Like, oh, you better make sure that's not the room key this time. And sleep out in the fucking hallway. So for context,
things that Goku does.
Yes. So they gave us wristbands because when I went to I stayed with a friend.
Yeah.
And he's like, here you go. It's the wristband for the water park. Cool.
Well, what he didn't know is that the wristband was not only for the water park, it was also the room key into the room in the resort.
So I showed up Saturday at 6 a.m. and I'm beating on the fucking door and everybody's in there sleeping like a goddamn rock, like they went into a coma. I'm beating on the door. I can hear the phone ringing inside the room. I'm calling. Everyone's ignoring me. I'm like, fuck, open the fucking door. Let me in. I don't have a room key. So I sit down and I fall asleep in the hallway for like an hour. It's 7 a.m. Somebody walks past me. They see me sleeping in the hall. I'm like, oh shit, they're gonna call the cops. They're gonna get the cops now. Fuck. So I start beating on the door and calling. And then finally somebody answers the door and they're like, bro. And I just crawl in, go straight to sleep. I wake up 1 hour before my panel starts. And I'm like, bro, I need a room key. I need a fucking room key. I don't want to do this shit again. He's like, what are you talking about? You have a room key. No, you never gave me one. The wristband. What? The wristband is the room key. And I'm
I
like,
think that's cool. I really think that's cool, but it's funny. That's funny.
It's a unique to
I was
Kalahari
pissed.
thing.
Oh, I was pissed when I found out that that was the room key. I walked outside, closed the door, slammed my fist against the damn door, walked in, and I started cussing and screaming. The neighbors heard me. What the fuck? You mean I slept outside like a goddamn bum? I look like I just got back from the fucking. I'm pretty sure the cops are on their way. This is some bullshit. My back hurts, my shit hurts, everything hurts. I got a fucking panel. I didn't get any fucking sleep. Yada yada yada. Ah, fuck. And it was mental health awareness, the panel that I was hosting. So I'm like, thank God it's mental health awareness. I got a lot of shit to get off my chest now.
It sounds like your neighbors were very aware.
Well, attention, angry Mexican in jeans. Yeah, so they made fun of me for the wrist. Oh, better make sure the wristband's not the door to the key to the room. I was like, fuck y'all. I hate y'all.
Can you imagine if that happened this weekend? Can you imagine?
Are we trying to make me angry? I thought this was a review. Come on, let's review. All right, so
Sorry, I forgot what I was going on. Oh,
Okay, the good, the
the
bad.
layout itself of the con was odd. Like the artist alley was literally like an alley or a hallway, and you had to go down around the corner just to get into the main area, which I don't know. I just thought it was a weird setup personally. Then of course the lack of content, I guess. But overall, I had a good time.
Okay. Missy, you next.
Okay, the venue, it was really nice. The the hotel was really nice. Outside was really nice. It was really cool to check everything out. Like the ponds, the statues, the lobby was really. I liked the venue. The venue was really good. Also, like me personally, the cosplay judges were really nice. I was like so nervous and scared that people were going to be kind of pretentious because some cosplayers are. But everybody was really, really nice and made me feel really comfortable. So I liked that. I liked that they made me feel really comfortable. It was fun. I mean, so I like that it was fun. But like venue, that's probably my favorite thing. The bad was only having the lack of content, only having the one room, the karaoke, kind of just the people that were doing songs over and over. So the karaoke setup and the wristbands. So that's what I have to say. It's bad.
All right. Keyblade Sonic didn't go. So Suffering, what you got?
Look, I kind of like it when small cons go for like the more wedding venue vibes, because this was really a wedding venue at a con. Like literally when I got there on Friday, like I was video chatting with my significant other, and I was just like, yo, if any of us actually lived around the Woodlands, like this would be a cool venue because they kind of laid this out for a wedding perfectly, right? And so like that main ballroom where the dealer's room was is just like, yeah, this is just a wedding venue repurposed into a con space. And I feel like they did a really good job with optimizing said space. But, like that was being said before, it was a little bit oddly laid out because we're not used to all of the way that like the small sort of venue with only like one or two main spaces are laid out for a con. Because what it does is it creates a lack of content, generally because you don't have as much space to do that type of stuff. But also in general that you end up making like these really weird decisions where it's just like, oh, the one panel room that's there is split halfway with sound with the maid cafe. So when the maids are doing something and you have not as like loud of a moment in your panel room, or vice versa, where the maids need some kind of like silence and then your panel room is really rowdy, it kind of crosses with each other a little bit and like it ends up being a little bit compressed, which can be fine, but also like it can be an annoyance. So that's some weaknesses with the venue. The hotel itself, really amazing, really nice. Like literally Friday night, I was raving to my significant other about like why do we live in the Woodlands? This is a great hotel. Like, because like the hotel itself was amazing. It was the location's a little bit far out. Obviously, it's between basically the Spring and Woodlands. If you know where 45 and 99 is, and you're in the Houston area, that's essentially the area that was there. So it's like, yeah, it's a little bit out of the way, but I think with the vision that Anime Texas had, they probably picked the right thing, especially with the numbers they expected to get, which it was admittedly smaller than the first Anime Texas that was at the Woodlands Resort, but definitely after the year they had at the Sonesta last year, this was definitely the right vibe and the right angle that they went for. But I think we can all kind of agree that the main weakness was like one panel room is kind of wish they could have made more space for it.
It's very limiting.
Yeah, it's really close to us though. Like we're in Conroe, so that was really cool for us. He had to actually go back to the house, and it didn't. Well, no, it took a long time because 45.
I will say that I do agree with the whole panel room, like the maid cafe and the panel room being next to each other, kind of threw off the vibe a little bit because I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, and when you are loud, I will get louder. And I kind of already know that they were probably a tad bit not happy with me. Oh God, it's him again, the loud one. Oh, that's my calling card. Mexican, as Sonic used to say.
No, I think the one moment I had with that during my poly panel, right, is like I was trying to like make a serious comment about relationships and whatnot, and I just hear the most sexual noise coming out of the maid cafe, and I'm like,
oh my God, can I say one thing? Asian Alex actually enjoyed their what is it, escape room? They had an escape room.
Oh,
You mean the
I got a
quiet room or
coupon for
the-
that.
No. The maid cafe did an escape room.
oh, okay, it was one of those, yeah, okay.
Yeah, they did an escape room, and they like he does escape rooms like every other week because that's his hobby. So they like got out of it within like a record time. But he's like, oh, it was definitely fun and challenging, dude. You got out of there in 10 minutes. I didn't say it was hard. I just said it was challenging. But he did enjoy it. He thought it was cool. That was a cool aspect because that guy will spend like the entire time in the hotel room watching Scooby-Doo cartoons on his iPad. So yeah, he definitely enjoyed it. So did you say you said you're bad, right? The panel. Was there anything else? Yeah, the good and the bad. You said your bad part.
Yeah, bad part is just the limited panel space. The good part's they probably did the most they could with the venue, and I think it was the right move after the last two Anime Texases. So.
Go to HEB, get that dog some dog treats. One for me, one for you, one for me, one for you.
He's already
Zoink, Scoob.
He's already like 5-6 pounds overweight. I got yelled at by the doctor.
No, there's people just get half of one, then half them.
Look, other dog. Look. He doesn't care. Like, where the snacks at, y'all? What, you want me to scratch your back? Fine. He's an attention whore. So my good and bad. I'm very critical of. I guess this is just me being biased a little, maybe not. I felt like karaoke should have been done a lot better. For one, they need an audio mixer. Obviously, the guy's a DJ. He knows what he's doing. He knows that they need a audio mixer because there were some people that sang where you could barely hear them, and you could hear the song. You could hear the instrumental part of the song more than you could hear them singing, because some people don't know how to hold them. Like, people hold the mic either too far away from their face or too close. So you have to be able to adjust the gain of the mic and the volume that's outputted. The volume itself doesn't, the microphone itself doesn't have a microphone volume. It has a gain level, and it has the volume that it outputs to the speakers that you could control. It could have been a lot better. They used YouTube Premium. We do that shit too. That's not revolutionary. I was just a little bitter because like we when we got there, it was like 45 minutes until they shut it down, right? The one Luffy cosplayer sang twice in less than an hour.
Yeah.
And I was
I
like,
think I can't remember. I think that before y'all got there, that they had done one too. That's why I was saying 2 or 3, because I think before y'all got down there, because I was there first, they had sang, because it
right.
was just I just kept seeing the same people.
Plus, that one guy went up there. He's like, "Oh, I'm happy to be your opener, middle, and closer."
Wasn't that pink shirt guy?
I think it was pink shirt guy.
Didn't you tell pink shirt guy, you're like, I'm not going to talk about you? And
'Cause
look,
I-
you talked
Oh,
about
I
him.
already decided I was going to talk about it.
Well, like because y'all showed up at the panel late. Like I'm like, bro, you're the only one here dressed like a dad, and I guarantee you're not a dad. And I'm like, you look like Timmy Turner's dad. Like you look like you just got back
He
from.
don't have no kids.
Like he didn't have no, he admitted he didn't have kids. Like, dude, you look like you're about to go film TikToks after this. Like, what do you call a bear without any teeth? A gummy bear. So y'all missed that part. Or I was just like roasting him for looking like somebody's dad. Like you look like he came here to discipline your kids because they snuck off to the anime convention. But like that's the only complaint I have. Like, yeah, I could complain about the badge, but I really don't care. I collect them, but I don't need to. I thought it was kind of weird that they only had one panel room. I will let the one panel room slide because they utilized all the space they could to its fullest potential in this location. They didn't waste an entire room on a anime viewing room. I believe those are a waste of space. I mean, if you want to watch anime, you got a phone.
And probably a hotel room.
Yeah.
Well,
I like the
now
way
that you
I feel like if they wanted to do a viewing room, that kind of like
No.
lobby area, they could have just had screens playing.
No. Sorry. Not you suffering. The comment. It wasn't him. No, because we met him. That guy's cool. This other guy, he was trolling, so I trolled back. So like I encourage people to troll. So I was just trolling back at him. But no, the Ask a Dad guy, he's pretty cool. But what were you saying, suffering again?
Yeah, so I feel like if they wanted to do like viewing screens, they had a space for that. That space that was between the special events area, like
The chill?
outside of that hallway.
The chill area?
That chill area with couches, they could have just like put screens up and put anime up.
Well, that's how Colossal Con has the couches. The way they do anime viewing is they put TVs next to all the sitting areas that are part of the hotel.
Mhm.
So instead of dedicating an entire room, like you have different TVs.
Like in the
around
hallways, they would put them in the hallways, like little
Yeah.
monitors, like near the entrances of some panels or something like that.
Next to couches and stuff like that. So instead of having a whole room dedicated to that, it was much more convenient. And when we sat down, we actually watched some of the animes. Like, oh, look, I've never seen that before.
wasn't it kind of weird that they didn't have like a game room?
Oh, I was so happy for that.
That was
Oh,
I
weird.
and
actually
there was another
mentioned that
thing.
in the Dragon Ball panel.
I don't know if they had it last year, but the first Anime Texas, they had like a cosplay picture room that they had backdrops and
Yeah, I like
lights.
those when
and
they have those.
It was awesome, and we're looking forward to getting in there to getting some pictures. But if they had it, I didn't see it.
I
was
think
one.
that was like the guy volunteered to do that. Like the guy
Yeah.
brought his own stuff and he signed up and he didn't come back, so that's why they didn't have it. Because they had it last year for prejudging for the cosplay competition. They would do a little mini photo shoot with you for the contest. But this year it just depends on like who's like there working the con and helping with the con. And
We should tell them we'll bring our backdrops and lights next time.
that's right. Whenever you need to do photo shoots or OnlyFans videos, we got you. We got all the backdrops.
Yeah, I got some backdrops. We were gonna do like we're
Backdrops
like,
and
okay, we're
backshots.
gonna go look at some panels, but we got on a side quest. We brought
Yeah,
some
like
backdrops.
y'all text me like, look, we did a side quest and I showed up. I'm like, what the fuck? I need to get some new backdrops, by the way. Thank you for saying something. Because I gotta get some Geeks Forever banners. I really enjoyed the con. It was everything was easy to find, very straightforward. The place was way too fancy. It was pretty cool. They had like it didn't stink. It smelled great.
Our room smelled weird though.
I could make a comment, but never mind.
Ours smelled fine.
No, ours smelled weird. He like embarrassed me. Like he's like, "Did you take a shit in here where I was gone?" I was like, "No, you know the room
Wow.
smells bad." Like, no.
Got it.
But
And that's
Yes, I
funny
do.
because it's funny because I made sure to take one before I went to y'all's room. I don't want to. I don't want to. Like I haven't known them that long. I don't want to give them a bad impression, even though y'all said
But-
when y'all first met me I was an asshole. So
We-
I took because shit in our room.
if you would have in our room, it would have gone really easy because I bring my squatty potty with me when I go to conventions.
I saw that. I was like, did that come with the room or did y'all bring that? Because I don't got a goddamn squatty potty.
Yeah, I bring one.
I think. Oh, okay, never mind. The squatty potty, like, no, it didn't smell weird in your room, but our room smelled fine, and we used that. Like, then again, suffering. I showered like twice in a single day.
Yeah, that's what I normally do at cons as well. It's just because I was in and out the entire weekend because of like my own issues. Like I was showering at home and showering at the con, so I was like, okay.
I showered in the morning, and then I showered when I got back from the gym. So
That wasn't like a bad smell. It was just odd. It was right there where the fridge was, so maybe it was like
maybe
whoever was
you're
in there
just-
before.
Maybe y'all just farted really bad.
I,
People fart in their sleep.
I do. She does.
I've had
no, I
a
don't.
couple
I fart.
hotels where they just have that really odd smell. And like the hotel I had at A-Fest was like that. It wasn't on site because I wasn't at the Lowe's.
On site, y'all.
I was like maybe like 3-4 miles away, and it was just like this place that I stayed at. I think it was like going through renovations or something, and like there was just a funky smell in the hallways. So that happens with some hotels, I think.
Yeah, it was like Delta this year. It had a smell, like there was a smell of food in one particular place, and it was really weird because it was all weekend, just that smell. Yeah,
I think that's
hotels
where
can
they
be
were
so
feeding
cool.
volunteers at, was right around the corner from our room.
Yeah, but yeah, hotels sometimes be smelling funny.
Oh shit! I got my deposit back from the hotel.
Sweet.
Sweet.
There you go.
I went from negative $150 to just negative $50.
I don't even want to check. I cannot check our bank account right now. I need to, so that doesn't
Well,
happen to us. But
Last year at the what the fuck was the name again? The St. Frank Sinatra Hotel.
The Royal Sinestra.
Sinestra, yeah.
Frank Sinatra.
Well, leave me alone. That's
No,
fucking
that's actually a better.
the Frank Sinatra. So at the Frank Sinatra Hotel near the Galleria, it was a $200 to $250 deposit, and I didn't get that shit back.
whoa, what did you do?
I didn't do anything. I left early because I had to pick up my
Automatically
daughter.
better from last year at Anime Texas, by the way, because that's where Anime Texas was last year. Because
Suffering,
don't be at the Sinesta.
yeah, don't be at the Frank Sinatra Hotel. Sucks. No, Suffering was there. We didn't do anything. Like I left early. Like I left around 9 or 10 because I came back to my house to go to sleep because I left to pick up my daughter at 6 a.m. because I have to drive all the way to Bedford, Texas, and back, and that's like 10 hours.
Where's Bedford?
It's
Near
between
Dallas.
Dallas and
DFW
Fort Worth.
area. Yeah.
It's only 3.5 hours, 4 hours if there's traffic, but gas, food, because kids like to eat.
It is the town right west of Arlington.
There's
That's
no
how you know
Mexicans.
it.
Every time I go there, they stare.
Yeah, everyone is white as paste there.
Mhm. My baby mama is white as paste. But yeah, no. Last year the hotel wasn't that great. I felt like a fat ass if I took the elevator because it was split between 2 floors, and it wasn't like the gap between the 2 floors was justifiable to take the elevator, but I felt like a fat ass because everybody else was taking the stairs. So I was like, fuck it. But then again, I was wearing like my Mexico armor, so that already weighed like an extra 20 pounds.
And the main thing I didn't like about the Sinesta is the way they had to organize it was all of the panel rooms were just in their own corner, right? And one part of the venue. And I was just like, I more like feeling that the panel rooms are integrated with the rest of the con. That way people can just kind of casually slip in and see what it's about.
By the way, the cost the rave for last year's just happened to be better. We have a special guest joining us. They're going to be here for the second part of the show, which none of you guys are required to be here because we covered the review. We're going to wrap up the review, but they are joining us. They are one of the staff members for the Louisiana Retro Con that's happening this weekend in Louisiana. Remember, when you go to Louisiana, you got to try the Popeyes from there because it's much more delicious. I don't know if you want me to say your name. It's not going to appear on camera.
Nah, it's all good. How's it going, guys?
Thank you.
Is the sound okay?
Yeah, you sound great.
Awesome. Thank you. You as well.
We're just wrapping up our Anime Texas review because that just happened this weekend.
Awesome. How was that?
I had fun. I mean, I liked
It was small. It was cozy. We got to vibe with our friends. Like,
That's awesome. Excellent.
Security didn't follow me everywhere. It was awesome.
Hey, security was great. That dude with the elevator
That
was
dude
awesome.
was great. Like he was. Like somebody needs to give that man a raise. Where's the 5-star Yelp review for him? 5 stars and a tip. Give him that.
no, I think that's one thing that sold the venue for me so much, even though like Goku was saying, like it was a little bit fancier and more highbrow than us anime fans are used to for sure. But like the security guy was just he was on point all night during the rave, everything else. He was taking care of people, he was making sure everyone was okay. Like that guy himself sold a lot of the venue for me.
Plus, he helped me with the incident that happened Saturday night. Like, he saw me having my panic attack and he calmed me the fuck down. Like, he like literally extended his hand out and I held his hand while I was freaking the fuck out. And he's like, just go in your room. Like, it's fine. Breathe. And like, bro, like I couldn't like I know he's not ever gonna see this, but thank you so much, man. You were a great help because I felt like my heart was gonna explode when I was.
Yeah, maybe he cares so much because he was an anime fan. Maybe he will see this.
Maybe. Yeah. But let's get our final review. So the way it works is, you score the con on a 0 to 10. 10 being absolutely perfect. We're talking about like Dragon Ball Z perfect. No, I'm kidding. But 0 being I've received ass whoopings that were better than this convention. All right, Clint, you are first, Mr. Your nickname is Mullet?
His name is like we call him Mullet. I've always calling him Clint. I don't know if you can hear how weird it is because I call him Mullet. I was introduced as Mullet. What did we meet? Like 21 years ago,
give or take.
Yeah, so I've been calling him Mullet for that long, and so it was at a concert or one of the cons where I'm like, hey, can you stop introducing yourself as Mullet because you're almost 40 now, you don't have a fucking mullet. And he's like,
real quick.
Okay, he's like, I'll call myself Clint. And my kids like refuse to, like they forget his name is Clint.
Wait, I'm almost 40. I'm gonna have the Eddie Guerrero mullet. Now you're making me think twice about it.
Nah. You'd be awesome. She just doesn't want me to have one anymore.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah.
So
he's got glorious hair.
Preferences can be weird.
What would you give the convention? What is your personal score of Anime Texas 2024 in Spring, Texas this year? 0 out of 10. Let's go.
Yeah, I will give it an 8 out of 10 overall. Ooh. And like I said, I was going to give a couple shout outs I forgot to earlier. Like, you probably won't see him, but still. The security guy, he is awesome. The AV dude, I think I said that. And the belly dancing girl, she kept the rave going, and it was awesome.
To answer the question, no, it was he. You're talking about the security guy. You're talking about he works for the cons, right? This security guy worked for the hotel. He was actual licensed security for the hotel itself.
Yeah, he's talking like Mullet's talking about elevator guy who was there. Guy. Like he had to.
That's the guy that helped me.
The same guy.
Yeah, and it was like 3 o'clock in the morning when he helped you, or something like that. And he'd been there all day too. So like elevator security guy, he was cool.
So we got an 8. So Missy, what is your final verdict?
I'm gonna go 7.
7? That's still good. 6 is still a passing grade, believe it or not, guys. It's only 5 and below where it becomes failing. All right. I was gonna ask Sonic, but he didn't go. He went to go eat. He went to go enjoy some chili dogs.
Cafe.
Suffering. What you got?
This was a solid 6.5 for me. I think. Just the straight 6.5 grade is like feels right for this con, just because I understand the position that they're in, but it's also like it wasn't really pushed that hard. It was super casual, so 6.5 just feels like where it should be.
I'm going to give it an 8 because for one, I like the location. The staff were definitely friendly. Everything was easier to find. There weren't there was absolutely no con drama. I know the con can't control that, but the dealers that were there were cool. As a matter of fact, we ran into a guy that sells samurai armor. They custom make it, and it's the Lord armor. It's not like the pawn soldier armor, right? It comes with the mask and the helmet and everything. And like I told him, like, look, as I'm working out, my shoulders are gonna get wider and bigger. Do you do custom armor? He's like, yeah, I could do custom armor. And I was thinking, okay, it's probably gonna be like 3,500. He said like 2,700, like an extra $200. I was like, that is a really good price. As a matter of fact, I will contact you after the con. So I liked the I also liked the 24 hours fitness was like literally less than a block away. They had a really cool pizza place. Everything was just very convenient. They didn't have smart elevators, thank God. I
The ones
just
where I have to
didn't-
scan your room key in.
Overall, I'm gonna give it, and this is me being generous because I really did have a great time. The dealer's room to me was great. Everything just for me until Saturday night fell into place. I will say an 8 out of 10. And so putting it into my thing. Okay. And all right. So the final verdict is a 7.5 out of 10. You got lucky. Anime Texas. But
I feel like I'm always going to be the low end whenever I rate cons.
give it a
I've been to
3.
so many.
A 3. Like, no, you know what else they had? They had strawberry water, not lemon water, strawberry water. The fancy.
Oh, I'm allergic to strawberries, so that's not a plus for me.
Well, I didn't say it was good for you. I said it was good for me. All right. So, do you guys want to stick around because we got one of the staff members for Louisiana Retro Con? If not,
Nah.
you guys can.
I'm gonna go out and like, so I'm out.
I also
I'll
need to
see
dip.
y'all
I have to deal
later.
with middle
They're
school stuff
exhausted.
for
They
weeks, so.
actually slept until 5 in the afternoon today.
Yeah, that was a thing. I don't know his excuse. My excuse was that my medication just got upped. So I think that's why I slept first because I don't sleep that good. But he's got a superpower. Like he could sleep anywhere, any amount of time. He could just fucking sleep.
Oh, I can do
Yeah.
that too. That's
I can go right back to
Really?
sleep
You
right
could
now
just
if I
go.
wanted to.
I cannot.
I fell asleep next to the speakers at a club.
Well, I did. I've passed out before in front of it.
I wasn't
Like at a
passed out. It was
concert.
sleep. It was sleep. Like,
My excuse was I was very comfortable.
oh yeah. Once you find that comfy spot, within
Yeah,
seconds.
but our whole day is like, we had so many plans, and now we're just, I don't know.
We will plan out a Geeks Forever swap meet and like gather everyone and like bring all the stuff that we bought at Ross together and just start trading like Pokemon cards.
Yeah,
All
I
the
need to
Ross
do
and
like
Five Below stuff.
a swap meet, like cosplay stuff, the things I'm
Like,
never gonna wear again.
We
And
could do like a swap meet or basically like a flea market, some sort of like a garage sale.
You think
sort of thing.
Pinball will let us do it at their con?
I don't know. You probably would have to ask them.
We could. Well, it's kind of too late now, but we could do it at Louisiana Retro Con.
There you go.
Yeah, I think y'all be excited about some of the explanations in the next few minutes. So appreciate y'all guys having me.
Yeah,
Really
no,
appreciate it.
thank you for coming on. I'm doing a
Yeah,
super
okay.
show because I thought y'all were so originally I wanted y'all for Wednesday, but it didn't work for y'all schedule, so I fit you on today. Now I gotta fill in my Wednesday schedule,
That's
but it's cool.
understandable.
It's
Sorry.
cool. Thank you.
Well,
Thank you, but to my buddies, Clint and Missy for coming on.
Oh, no
Uh,
problem. I
this
enjoyed
Wednesday,
it.
this Wednesday, I already came up with the topic for Wednesday. We're gonna talk about the CP topic and the issues that are presented in Japanese culture. We talked about it with Lolicon, Shadowcon in the US, but now we're going to dive deeper into the actual history of it in Japanese culture, and we're going to talk about, is it an overall as a problem? Is it something that, we're going to talk about the issues with it, because when we talked about it before, we talked about it based off the perspective of Ministry of Otaku, but we're going to kind of take them out the subject line and just talk about it in general. So that's going to be Wednesday's show. So if y'all want to come on and talk about that, y'all are welcome to.
Appreciate it.
Well, yeah, it's nice being here, and thank you for
All
having me.
right. So what about you, Suffer? You going to stick around or you got to go too?
I probably got to go. I always appreciate being here. Always going to be a friend of the pod, obviously.
That's right.
For those of you who don't know, my handles are Hiryaju_suffering on both Discord and Instagram, as well as Hiryaju-suffering on Tumblr. Join us next week on Monday for my review, because Goku's not going to be there, of Anime Houston.
Wait, you're coming on the show, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Okay,
just
cool.
said that.
Okay. Oh, he said all I heard was
It's going to be on this channel. Don't worry. It's still your content.
Okay, cool. All right, buddy. See you next week.
See you next week.
All right. So thank you, sir, for joining us for the I am King Mexico. This is my co-host, my regular co-host, Keyblade Sonic.
Hi.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the audience?
Yeah. So what's going on, guys? So I believe it or not, I am Davey Lusko. I am the founding director of the Louisiana Retro Con. So it's kind of like my little nest egg, my little passion baby. It's been a fun little project that I started 2 years ago as fun, and it's become kind of like basically like a business model, and it's been a blast to do something that I love and give back to the retro gaming community. And it's been a fun journey. I've met many people, and but yeah, I started the con 2 years ago in like a small little gym facility, and now we run it in a little auditorium / convention center, and it's grown twice its size pretty much every 6 months. We do it biannually.
Oh, y'all do it
every 6
Every 6
months.
months.
Yes,
Yeah.
every 6 months.
What? Okay, hold on. I actually have your website pulled up. So it's
Awesome.
Morgan City
Municipal Auditorium.
Auditorium. Thank you.
That's
it. In Morgan City, Louisiana.
That's
and
how far is that from here?
It is about 4.5, almost 5 hours.
So,
are y'all coming out?
Not this. What we just discovered, the con, and we like to plan out our cons. Like we start planning out our conventions in January, and we plan out the ones in and we're talking about like May, June, July. We start planning those out in January. Like which ones are we going to try for? Which ones are we? Because we're panelists. We're not just podcast hosts. We also do panels.
That's awesome.
So I do a lot of like comedy panels. Whenever you see panels, people have like PowerPoints and laptops and videos and presentation. I don't do any of that shit. I will literally show up. All right, we're going to talk about Pokemon. It's cockfighting for kids.
Hey, if it's entertaining, it doesn't matter. As long as it's engaging, that's what matters at the heart of it. So
I try to be entertaining and engaging.
Yeah.
I actually encourage my audience to troll back. Like, oh, don't just sit there and be quiet and listen to my shit. Try to troll me. Do it. I dare you.
Absolutely.
I do adult panels and I do family friendly panels. Ironically, you would think that I would be bad at hosting family friendly panels, but it's normally the audience that slips. Like
Okay.
I'm pretty good at not slipping with like cuss words or anything like that, but the audience like, well, shit, what did I just say? Family friendly. Like, oh, sorry.
Right.
That's
Like
how
you're
that's
gonna
how it
get me
is.
canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like Sonic's been to our Dragon Ball. I had to tell people at our Dragon Ball panel, stop cussing. Stop. I told y'all to stop cussing. I'm gonna start throwing chairs if you don't stop.
It's like,
But
knock it off, y'all.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're very family friendly, so I do respect the trying that you're doing with that. It's a hard thing. I'll say that it's a hard thing because I'll be on a game at night playing like I'll just say Call of Duty Zombies or something with friends because that's a pastime we do on PC, and it's like like oh no, and like you probably slip a curse word in there, and
oh
then
yeah.
like people see me in person, they're like, oh, you're this innocent little man, and I'm like, have you met me? But of course, in a business, or something like this, you keep it professional. So yeah.
Yeah, you got like well it's we people don't realize that on the show we are very different compared to how we are in person.
Absolutely.
Well, with me it's kind of the same. Kinda. So there was an events director for a convention, and I started like saying, "Oh yeah, I'm my like oh I was saying something about chaos, right? I was talking about chaos, like oh yeah, chaos is good. Chaos is good because people always like to have scripts, they like to have game plans, they like to have everything written
Yeah.
down, and I don't believe in that. Like I believe that that you should wing it sometimes because if you are prepared for chaos. Because one thing I've learned as a panel is that people troll you all the time. You can't
Sure.
control the trolling, especially children.
Mhm.
Whew.
Children
They
are
love
the
the troll.
best at trolling, hands down. And we were hosting Dragon Ball versus My Hero Academia once at Anime Austin, and this 10-year-old walks in and they start trolling.
Oh
I'm like,
no.
oh, I was like, oh snap! I didn't know daycare let out early. Shouldn't you be in school? Well, when I was little, you mean 2 minutes ago? And we were trolling so much and it was back and forth and we neither one of us skipped a beat that people actually like walked up to me. He's like, bro, did y'all script that out? I'm like, no, that was just us going at
Just
it.
straight out. Just
Like,
straight out. That's awesome.
like, oh, Dragon Ball is
On
dumb.
the
I'm
spot,
like, where's your mom? Where is your mom? So I can find her, become your stepdad, and put you in a corner.
Yeah, it's like sometimes when you watch at like at a you're like playing a game like at an arcade or like a convention and like
Mhm.
the little or like some kid was playing it and then they like naturally sometimes they play it for like a few seconds and they like run away for like a few minutes and then yours turn to playing it and then they come back it's like, oh well I was playing Sonic. Well now you're not. Now you're
Not this time, guys. Sorry.
not this
Oh.
time, little dude.
Oh, dude, next time if that ever happens, you'd be like, well, you're too slow.
That's
Oh,
right.
you're too slow.
You gotta go faster, guys.
It's funny because like Sonic here is he's an up and coming voice talent. He does indie projects.
Oh,
And he
Yeah,
does
so
the
I do a
voice of
lot of
Sonic.
fan projects doing Sonic. I did
that is
for
awesome.
a couple years ago.
I love Sonic. Absolutely, that is fantastic. What's
If
your
you
favorite Sonic? If you don't mind me interjecting, if you had to pick one,
Specifically a game or
yeah, like a game. Like favorite 3D Sonic and favorite 2D Sonic. I'll make it easier.
Okay.
If you had
Favorite
to pick
2D
two.
Sonic, Sonic 2 on the Genesis.
It's a great one.
3D, man, I'd probably say Sonic Adventure 2.
That's my favorite. That's awesome.
Specifically
I love
the GameCube version because I
It's
did
the one I have.
well I have the Dreamcast one and the GameCube version.
Really?
But I kind of prefer
Oh.
the GameCube version.
Gosh, you must be rich. I wish I could have the one.
No, which is funny
Dreamcast.
because we're talking about this, and today I was gonna mention this on the beginning of the show. Today is actually the 25th anniversary of the launch of the Dreamcast here in the North America.
What?
It
That
was
is awesome.
$9,999, so now it's $9,924. So 25 years,
Did not
and
know that.
I was just I was like reminiscing because I do YouTube videos on the side too, and I'm working on a video related to the Dreamcast, and I was thinking about like, oh, I remember playing the Dreamcast, but I didn't really own one. It wasn't until like 2007, I found a complete in-box Dreamcast with 10 games and a controller and VMU units for like $50. And I was like,
That's not
see,
bad.
back nowadays, that's like the holy grail of deals. Back then, that's like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
common.
That is the one thing I miss about GameStop back in 2007, 2008.
Oh, absolutely.
Because people would bring in, like, this one guy brought in a Dreamcast, 2 controllers. It had like it didn't have a game, but it was the console. It worked. It had all the connections. And he's like, y'all take these in. And this is when Xbox 360 and PS3 were still just brand new.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, no, man, we don't take in old consoles. And so the guy just like, he's like, fuck it, and then just leaves it on the counter. And I'm like, what do we do with it?
That's crazy.
I kept it. I took it home because at the time nobody gave a shit about Dreamcast. It's like,
yeah, because by that point it was like everyone was the Dreamcast was like dead in like 2001 down too.
Mm-hmm.
It only been dead for like I think 4 years at that point.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like a collector's item just yet.
Mm-hmm.
And I got it like because I took it to play. Nobody gave a shit about. Oh, I don't want to play stupid Dreamcast. And then like 5 years later, oh hell yeah, the Dreamcast is awesome. The Dreamcast rocks.
Now everybody wants it.
Now everybody wants a Dreamcast, and now the Dreamcast is like going for a lot. Or the Sega Saturn, that's another one.
I still don't want a Sega Saturn.
I've got a pretty crazy Sega Saturn collection. I also vend on the side and sell video games. Mm-hmm. And I went to like a little mom and pop, like a Mother's Day market or something like that. And I was the only guy with games. This guy walk up to my booth and he's like, I see you have a Wii U and a Switch. I want to trade for that. I'm going to come back tomorrow. This was like this year. He comes back the next day with about $2,000 worth of Sega Saturn games. I didn't even look up the prices. I just knew that these are probably all crazy rare. Yeah. And all he wanted was a Switch, a Wii U, and a few other goodies. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take the gamble. I'm going to just be fair about it and just he wants it. I want it. We both don't know. We're going in blind. Man, I got in home. It was like Contra, which one of the Contras is worth a few hundred. Both Panzer Dragoons. It was Die Hard Arcade, which a lot of people want.
Amazingly.
Shinobi. So there's some crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's some really good stuff on the Saturn.
Especially just the Panther or Dragon. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Sonic. But
yeah, no worries.
Just real quick, I want to say fucking Panzer Dragoon.
Panzer Dragoon.
Yeah. That, holy shit. Sorry, go ahead, Sonic.
I was going to say specifically Panzer Dragoon Saga. That's the one. It's like, oh, that's like the holy grail of video games. Because like there's a YouTuber I follow. He was like unboxing, like people were sending him stuff like fan letters and stuff, and then someone donated like a couple of copies. One of them was Panzer Dragoon Saga, and he was like, "Oh my god, are you serious?" He's like, "Yeah, you can have it. Thank you for being a great YouTuber. This is for you." It's like, man, yeah. So in the comment section, yes, Panzer Dragoon Saga goes for a lot. It's a holy grail because people, you know how most games they could like remake it or port it or something. Like, unfortunately, they can't do that with Saga because they actually lost the source code. So it's basically lost media. Almost could have been lost media. So it's kind of wild. I'm like, wow.
Didn't that happen to Kingdom Hearts at one point?
I don't think so.
Might have.
That happened to another game. Maybe not Kingdom Hearts, but it was another game where they lost the original source code and they had to rebuild it from the ground up.
I forgot what it was. Trying to remember.
And it was recent too. Like I think within the last 5 years, recent.
5 years. Okay. Probably look it up.
I will say one crazy thing for sure. I know some people in the comments were mentioning about like the new Deadpool film. So I don't know if y'all been keeping up with that game. I own a sealed copy for Xbox One of the only Deadpool game they made. And like
PS3, 360, then it was on PS4 and all that. Yeah.
And it's like I think worth $150 now. And I bought it when it was like maybe $30-$40 sealed at a Second and Charles store. I don't know if y'all got those out there.
Deadpool, Second and Charles.
But I just picked it up and I was gonna play it one day and I kept it in a box and now it's like, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't open this thing. But it's because they delisted it because of licensing issues and I think the launch was a failure as a whole. I heard, but the game off the stores, you can't buy it digitally now. You have to buy it physically, like Saga.
It's so the Deadpool one, it wasn't going for that much until the Deadpool movie, and now it's dropping in price again.
Okay, good. Maybe I can. get another copy.
I know some guys asking for like $70 for his, so I'm waiting a tad bit longer because Deadpool's really not that good. Like it's cool, it's
Yeah.
funny, but like if you look it up right now, if you have a copy of Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 on the PS4,
It's
that
like
one's
$80.
going for like $80. Some people are asking for
Yeah,
100.
I have that actually. I just got it. I didn't expect it to go for much. And there's like a lot of games nowadays. You especially, I will say this. Like 20 years ago, nobody cared. Like people were like crap on you if you had this console, but now everybody's starting to like get into the GameCube, and like so many GameCube games are like going for like double, triple that they would be like 5 years ago or something like that.
For those
That's
of you wondering what it looks like,
Yeah, I have that one.
Wasn't it that was GameStop exclusive, right?
Yeah,
No.
it was. Yeah, it was.
That's
This
why
one?
it's so valuable.
Yeah, the PS4 version was GameStop exclusive.
It's
I got this
pricey
one on
because of that.
Amazon.
Really?
Yeah, that you probably got it for a third party.
Yeah, I'm about to say probably third party
Oh.
seller. Sonic's right.
Man, maybe I get it on the website. I know I got it online, and I paid like $30.
That's not
It was
bad.
brand new.
That's really
But I have the PS3 version and the PS4 and the Fate of Two Worlds version.
Yeah, I have it on
Nice.
360.
That's awesome.
I don't have Infinite though. That one sucks. That one's good.
I
They
did-
are.
Yeah, it was funny because I do have the collector edition, but not the disc or anything. I got like the statues and the Easter egg, the
Easter eggs.
the
Yeah,
Easter eggs, the Infinity Stones, because I was at
Oh.
a Retro Con and I was like, oh, how much you want this for? I'm like, oh, I can get it for like $20. You know, it doesn't come with the game. I'm like, yeah, that's fine. I don't want the game. I just want the physical stuff anyway.
Yeah.
So they gave me the 4 statues and the Infinity Stones.
Véndeme tus huevos.
Yeah, give me the Easter eggs because I looked it up and like I saw like the tech. There wasn't texture. It was just like plain egg. I'm like, dude, these are just Easter eggs.
They look just like Easter eggs with
That's cool.
lights inside.
It's wild. I was like, bro, what is
People were like shitting on it.
Which RetroCon was that at? I'm trying to start going to more gaming conventions out of
this? Was
state, so.
Retropalooza that was in
Oh,
Pasadena.
I've
So they
been
do it
wanting
in,
to go.
they do it in Pasadena, but their big one is up in Dallas. So they have 2 versions. There's a Dallas version. There's a Houston one.
Okay, that's cool.
So they're doing the Dallas one in late October. Yeah,
26th, I think, right? I've been
25th, 26th. Yeah.
I might go. I'm just trying to see. There's a few cons that same exact weekend, so I'm trying to see which one. It's so many. There's even Chattanooga Comic Con. They asked me to come guest, and I don't know if I'm gonna go or not. So
yeah, that's kind of us, but it's not just with conventions for me. The 26th, there's like the Sonic Symphony that's happening up in Houston, so that's happening that weekend. So
well, I
that's
mean, I
happening.
wouldn't blame you for going to that. That's all. That's really cool. I didn't even know it was happening. Heck yeah.
Let me see.
Heck yeah.
And
I'm on your website because I was looking at it while we were talking.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was actually going to ask you about so hold on, give me a second because I'm actually still going through it.
Ah, you're good.
actually, you know, while he's looking up the information on your website, I wanted to ask, do you guys? I don't know if any people know this. Was there reports of a storm that's approaching? I don't know. Are you guys going to be like prepared? Have you like addressed it or anything like that?
So we have addressed it today, actually about an hour before I got on here, and also yesterday. It's been kind of frustrating because we've received. I probably answered about 20 phone calls today about the con, as well as messages and emails, and it's just kind of been a rough season this year for the fall 2024 show. Ticket sales have kind of been down, and I feel like it's because economy issues compared to last year. Also, I think now with the storm, people are trying to see where it's at. As of right now, though, we've disclosed to the public because the hurricane's like kind of going to pass over us, at least the city Wednesday.
Okay.
But as of right now, I'm giving it till Thursday. I've been telling people unless it will change, we are still going to have the con. We'll have a great time. But if safety concerns come to the worst possible scenario, we will postpone it. But right now, we have no plans to change it, and our vendors are very eager to be there too. So that gives me hope. They're all like, "Oh no, we're gonna come even if there's a hailstorm." And I'm like, "Well, I appreciate because I was kind of depressed today. So being on this podcast tonight actually was uplifting. So
I didn't know about the storm. Actually, I was going to ask you, like, because Sonic brought up a good point, and brought up a good point right now. The economy. Do you think has the over? I don't know how it is in Louisiana because when I did live in Louisiana for a while
Oh, you lived here? Okay.
for a while, I was in Moss Bluff, middle
Okay.
of nowhere.
Okay. I'm in Homa. I live in Homa. It's like way down.
There weren't as many conventions that I could find to start to start trying to work with.
Yeah.
So does the economy in Louisiana have the same issue that we have? For one, Texas is oversaturated with conventions.
Well,
Like,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, we had one this past weekend. Prior to that, we had another one. Then we had another. There was one weekend where we had 4 conventions: 2 in Houston, 2 in San Antonio. One was a Power Ranger con. One was an adult ecchi convention. One was anime matsuri, and another one was a horror convention.
That's hard to pick one if you got that many across the state.
Well, I ain't picking matsuri.
Oh, sure. Yeah. No, obvious reasons, but yeah. I've heard. But no, I've heard. Sure. But no, so as far as that question goes, it's a very weird thing here as far as saturation, because when I started this show, we started in 2022. It was okay, masks are coming off, mandates are reopening, now cons are able to start reopening because 2020, 2021 was weird. We unfortunately suffered the loss of MechaCon, which I still highly regard. I'm sure you've heard of that one. So we lost that in 2021. It had its final show. And then it was finally we had maybe Fan Expo New Orleans, and we had Louisiana Comic Con, just a few of your big name shows, and it wasn't many. And so I might have 4 or 5 shows a year at that point. And then so I came in 2022, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I went to a toy con. It's in St. Tammany Parish, and I'm like, I want to open something like this, but for video games, because we didn't have anything like it before. So I thought of things, and I came with Retro Con. We did our first show September 2022. Did pretty good. And like I said, there still wasn't really many cons. It was kind of dry cut. It wasn't many, and it was a reasonable number, unlike the situation at Texas you mentioned. I didn't know about that. But now, 2 years later, I have witnessed so many people that are just coming in head first. And I guess the positive thing I could say would be is I hope they don't nosedive. It's a lot of newbies, I guess I would say, not researching. A lot of, I guess I would say, B-list show. I hope they realize what's to come, because it's a lot of money. When I started, it was very small, but we added stuff as we went, that way stuff wouldn't take a nosedive. But right now we probably have, it's getting close to 30 shows a year with how many keep adding and making new shows. And there's a lot. Yo, what's going on? Rushmore show, guys. Good to see y'all. That's actually going to be my event MCs at the convention this weekend. They do a family-friendly podcast about your top 4 and nothing more. That's why they call it the Rushmore show, because the 4 men on the mountain. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Clever. That's
y'all
clever.
ought to see if y'all can guest on that show one day. They interview all kind of people.
Yeah, I would definitely. We would love to collaborate. We actually really like collaborating with other We did
cool.
Me and Sonic, we approached Big City Wings in Houston for WrestleMania weekend, and we did our podcast with another podcast group, Fusion Ha. So because I know them, we're buddies, and I ran into them this weekend. We did it was Geeks 5 Ever and Fusion Ha podcast, and we came together for WrestleMania weekend, and we talked about professional wrestling. We were talking about Cody Rhodes.
That's cool.
We were talking about The Rock, and we do all kinds of stuff. We even have other podcasters come randomly on the show. Even John, he's a voice actor, he's a buddy of mine. He'll randomly just pop up on the show. He did Gentle Criminal in My Hero Academia. Linda's popped up every now and then. Yeah, John's cool.
That's awesome.
Deacon, he's a rapper. He pops up. I mean, Sonic's pretty popular too. He's pretty famous.
It's cool.
But yeah, no, definitely we can do family friendly. I can be on a family friendly show and be family friendly, or they can come on my show and they could come up here and be a part of our show, which is for mature audiences only. Strong language, adult themes, extreme sarcasm. Oh yeah, we
Nice.
are. We originally started off as like a trolling podcast. We were talking trash,
Sure.
and then we evolved into the convention review channel.
Mm-hmm. We discuss we review not only conventions, we also discuss like upcoming conventions. We're discussing conventions that are like any news about it, anything that stood out. Like
Anything convention wise. Like Sonic said, like because when Sonic came on the show, we started reviewing conventions, and then he started going to conventions I couldn't go to. So we started like, okay, I'm gonna review this, and then other people started. Then eventually it evolved to, okay, we didn't go to the show, but we have people coming on the show that did go,
That's
and they're gonna talk about the convention, and then it started getting like deep into like the dark side of the community, and now we've become this channel that kind of like, okay, we're gonna review the convention. Yeah, we might say some shit about it, but we're doing it because we like, literally, we're only saying this because it's to kind of help you like get better at
yeah.
because we've like Anime Tyler Texas watched our show, and now we're gonna do something with them. UshiCon, which is in Austin, Texas now, we're gonna do something with them. We try to help out all the conventions, even the conventions that have stumbled a little bit. We go out of our way, and like, I'm interested in doing something for your show now because I'm looking at the website. And you said you're bi-yearly. Like, when is the next one? I know you have one this weekend.
Yes.
When is your next show?
So it's bi-yearly as of now. We haven't actually picked dates for next year yet because of, again, it's just we're in such a weird economic time right here in Louisiana. It's been weird for cons. So we're trying to, I guess, get past this weekend, fingers crossed, and just see where the cards fall, basically, and then I'll be contacting the regular venue for the next dates, or we may switch to yearly. It's we're in a weird position right now if we're going to continue biannual or annual, and it's like I said, it really depends on what people do this coming weekend as far as attendance, where it will go, what the fans want. I've also invested in a kiosk this time. Hopefully, it comes in due to the storm. I don't hope it delays. But we'll have a kiosk at the door because I really want to get more fan input. I've always tried to do that because it's a fan by fans for the fans convention, homegrown and small, and I want people to feel like it's more like a family and not just hey, you're a number. Your number is who you are on that ticket, and you don't matter. I want people to feel like, hey, come in, have a great time, feel like you're a part of the experience. So I want to get more feedback this time and see like, hey, do you want to continue enjoying it twice a year? Do you want like one big show a year? Or would you want, I even thought of maybe a small show and a big show in a bigger city, kind of like, what, what you mentioned with Retropalooza. So there's a few ideas in the works. It's just, we want to see where this goes, and then we'll have a definite probably in a few weeks. So,
well, you came to the right place. We are Geeks 5 Ever. The the little thing. Hold on, let me get rid of it.
It's okay.
The voice of the voiceless. Yeah, that's our bear. And that also started as a running joke.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's what we do. We're here to we never intended to become a convention review channel. Like, that just kind of happened out of accident. And now we do whatever we can. I even have an entire notepad with all my panels.
Nice.
So there's one because I'm interested in hosting panels for y'all to help because we provide content.
That's awesome.
Do gamers secretly hate other gamers? So and I even have the panel description. Are you a gamer who secretly hates it when people only play Call of Duty? Do you hate JRPGs? Do you want Power World canceled? Join us and find out if you secretly hate other gamers. And we do that for
awesome.
other stuff, do anime fans secretly hate anime? And this is what it says. I'm not even kidding. Are you an anime fan that doesn't like the new stuff, such as Burrito? Naruto Sun Show.
Yeah, Boruto. I don't even watch it, but it's Boruto. Yeah.
No, that's what it says
Kid
in the
Bart
description.
Simpson.
Kid Bart Simpson. No.
It says that in the description. It says it like the guy that's typing out is confused, like like,
Yeah,
it even says with dot in the
that's
description.
great.
And so like, yeah, that's what we do, because we give, like, when we do panels, we also market the panels, right? So
Okay.
like our Dragon Ball Z panel is called It's Over 9,000, a Dragon Ball panel. Our Power Ranger panel now, it's called It's Morphin Time, the lore and history of the entire lore and history of Power Rangers. Something like
Nice.
that. So we, like,
That's
I'm an
cool.
entertainer, like I said. I don't do PowerPoints, I don't do presentations. I will literally go on the stage and I will tell, and I will share, I'll tell jokes, and I'll get people involved. I'm all about fan interaction.
That's awesome. I love that.
Because we're professional wrestling fans, so we kind of took that persona, like the professional wrestler persona, and like applied it to like anime
That's cool.
conventions.
That's really cool.
So whenever I do like a panel now, like I'm like, and I don't use microphones at all. I don't need mics. I don't need sound equipment.
Yeah.
I'm loud. You could hear me in the next floor.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I'm like, ladies and gentlemen, damas y caballeros, I am King Mexico, and I am the most chaotic panelist and podcast host in all of Texas. And I'm like,
Heck yeah.
acknowledge me. So I'll just do this character. And then when people troll me, I'm like, hey, you in the cheap seats, keep it down. I'm trying to cater to my VIPs that got front row. How you doing, sir? Thank you for spending your money here.
Like the
So
Krusty Krab.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's kind of like the character that I am. Like, I'll play a character, and it was so convincing. Like, this events director, I don't want him at our show. He's too crazy. He's too chaotic. He didn't like the chaotic part.
No. Oh.
He's like, oh, I don't want him here. I don't want him here.
Look, a good hype man, though. I mean, I can picture it. I like that energy. That's good energy to have at a show. Seriously, it gets the crowd going, gets people involved, interested, intrigued. That's important. You need that, and you seem genuine. So I respect that. That's awesome. Really,
I do like the entertainment part. Like, I've done, panels in front of like 2 people, no people, or like 500 people.
Wow.
LA Knight is a go-to US champion. I do not disagree with you. I mean,
Dang,
I
this
agree
is
with
actually that's actually a few of my people coming this weekend. I see Johnny's show said something too. He's one of my celebrity guests coming this weekend. What's up, Johnny? And Garrett is Forafines. He is honestly one of my favorite people, because I'll tell you a quick story. So Garrett here is Forafines now. Him and his wife came to my show 2 years ago, very first show. Never vended. They just were collectors. They were resellers, and they were like, we want to come vend. And tables were like $25 back then. Like I said, it wasn't a major thing. It was for fun. And they had such a fun time selling Legos. They came back. And they this is going to be their 5th consecutive show. They're the only seller in RetroCon history that's came to every single event, for sure. And I'm proud of them. And I think they're going to have a fun weekend. They just went by, how much was it, Garrett? You told me. Yeah, it was like almost $2,000 in Legos from a Goodwill bid auction, and they had to go pick it up in another state. It's like, I think he said about 50 totes worth. So he's still, as we speak, going through that probably while watching this video for next week. And he said the minifigures alone are probably going to pay for the lot. So he's pretty happy, and I'm happy for him. So yeah, shout out to him. It's awesome.
Shout out.
Question.
I'm gonna address it real quick. Shout out to One Up Definitive Studios. He's our buddy of ours. Definitely a great guy, awesome guy. He's like the mayor if Texas had a mayor.
Oh wow, really? Okay.
No, I'm just hyping him up. I'm just kissing his butt. I made sure before he came onto the show, I put on some chapstick because he doesn't like chapped lips kissing his ass.
Oh wow, okay.
No, it's a joke. I'm just messing with him. I'm messing with him. So One Up, we did the review of her Anime Texas for like the first 2 hours. It got a 7.5. And now we're talking to Louisiana Retro Con, and they have a show this coming weekend, and we're just kind of like shooting the shit at this point, getting to know him. He does want to know though, question: Louisiana Retro Con, are you seeing more impact now that many of the other LA shows have dissolved?
Louisiana shows. There you go. Just more specific.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, like Louisiana State, not
Sure.
LA Nights.
Well, I would say it's kind of funny because it's like you see cons come and go, and it's weird because I was used to being like, I guess you'd say, the little fish in the pond. I was the guy learning, and
Mhm.
now there's a bunch of new people coming, and now it's weird being like the kind of, I guess, like the young sage, young Hokage, if that makes sense. I'm working towards, because now people come to me and they'll ask, what would you do? And it's like, whoa, I don't know, I'm still kind of learning because now there's so many shows, and like now we're kind of somebody said we're probably in the top 5 cons in the state now, which it's an honor for a fan to say that.
That's
Um,
impressive.
yeah, I don't even say that, but they said that, and I was like, well, thank you. But we get a decent attendance, and it's become like one of those little cult phenomenon things, and I feel like it's gonna keep growing in a positive direction. But I do welcome more shows as long as they just learn the structure, learn the community, and make sure they're doing right by their fans.
Mhm.
And so yeah, I welcome more cons. I'd love to see more. So
Do you think, like, so one of the things, and this isn't just in Texas or Louisiana, this is kind of national. A lot of conventions are now owned by a singular company, like just like for instance, a friend of ours, he owns fandom events, and he has several etchy conventions, and he owns Anime Texas that was just this past weekend. But
okay,
there are other companies out there that are like either they're starting companies that run multiple conventions, or companies are buying conventions as a way because they see like
Mhm.
the revenue. You think that is because we no longer have, like, we're losing, it's not completely going away, but we're losing a lot of like privately owned conventions of people
Yeah.
that see it more of a community rather than a corporation. You think that is kind of hurting like the business as a whole?
I mean, I would say it's a concern. Here's my perspective. I'm not a big fan of corporate in general. I worked for retail for several years, and that's where I attained a lot of businessman knowledge. And but my whole thing on it is that I feel like the big cons like that are kind of important because in Louisiana for sure I use them to go and promote this show, and I'm grateful for them, especially Fan Expo. They really helped out a lot this past year with us
Mhm.
promoting the show and getting it more off the ground. But I do feel like in a way it does engulf the indie shows because I mean we're an indie show. An independent, we're a fan show. It's not a corporation. It's not, there's no buyout. It's all independently ran by me, my friends, and my parents also help. So, but I do find it does cause a bit of a damper, uh, which I hate to see that. I wish that it could all kind of unite, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
I do feel like it engulfs sometimes, as in also we just had, what was it? It was weird because we had a con called Horrorpalooza Weekend that came, and it was going to be next month,
Mhm.
and the site was kind of sketchy and people were kind of weird about it, but it was more of a corporation, and just nobody. Oh, thank you, Geek. I appreciate that response. I really appreciate that. I try to think out my answer as well, so thank you very much. um but so they came along and people were sketched out by it, and I mean it was a very obvious reasons, and then all of a sudden they announced a few weeks ago they're dropping out of the race. They're like, we're canceling this year, and now we're coming back in October 2025. So a lot of vendors signed up and some were disappointed. I hate to see disappointment like that because a lot of people are putting their time, their money, their soul and heart into this. Some people are very talented artists that spend hours at home working on this stuff, only to find out that, and their answer was they didn't get enough ticket sales. And I mean, I can understand that, but for a big company like that, it surprised me because
Mhm.
usually they have a following they bring with them. We also have Galaxy. Yeah, Galaxy Con is coming to New Orleans next year. So, but again, that's what I'm saying is that I don't mind the big shows. I think that we can all coexist, if you will. I worry about a lot of them coming and possibly scaring the indie shows away, if that makes sense.
Do you
You
think
know,
that the you know, do you think big shows and indie shows kind of are dependent on each other a little bit?
I would say so. I would like to kind of plug one of my buddies when I explain this. So there's a little guy named Corey Daggerpont. He's one of my best friends that I've slowly made over the past 2 years of running this show. He runs the Pelicon, it's called. It is another locally ran convention, and we're kind of like con brothers in a way. He met me last year at our second show, and I was his very first promotion. He had never been to another con to promote, and he was still learning how to do all this, as I was too. Um, so he runs a little more of like a little Comic Con, but it's very family based. He keeps it in the family. It's localized, and it's a really nice little breathable show. You know, it's nice. You can go hang out with friends, go see the friends that you didn't get to see at the big show. You know, it's nice. You can tell it's homegrown, and like I said, we both offer each other a promo booth each year at both of our shows. We pretty much cross promote for each other, share for each other, and now, I mean, there are some people that they'll conflict, but I would say a lot of times, and that's the drama. There's always con drama. There will be always be con drama, but for the most part, yeah, I would say fan ran shows are like very tightly knit, and people like to help each other, and I love seeing that. I really do.
Real quick, for the Rushmore show, I did post our Instagram. It's instagram.com/geeks5ever. That is the best way to get a hold of us. Or you can join our Discord and promote on there, and you can get some of our very colorful characters to come on the show. We have a lot. So the thing, we're friends with a lot of panelists here. Zeros to Heroes, they're a podcast show slash panelist. Pixelation, my buddy Sam. Suffering's a panelist. He's one of the top. He's definitely in the top 10 panelists. He's probably top 5. And we have other friends groups. So there is no lack of content of people that are willing to help and reach out when it comes to conventions. So just sharing that with you. But One Up did have One Up did have a interesting comment to state: lack of seeds. So many shows are fan startups that feel that the show will self-fund, and that is never the case, and causing damage as a whole. I've heard many stories where people will, the thing
I witnessed that in the past year, actually, but I'll let you finish. I'm sorry.
No, actually, I was just going to say real quick that a lot of people jump into the convention business because at the end of the day, it is a business.
Sure.
And people have to be able to make money to continue. And people don't realize that, like most businesses, you're going to lose a lot of money. Even if you do make a profit, it's not going to be until maybe after the show is all said and done.
Absolutely. And what I try to tell people is it's a labor of love at the end of the day, and you have to realize that this is all a gamble. I am blessed and grateful that it turned out the way it did, but I will say it doesn't happen like this for everyone. I took a chance on something, and it just happened to be, I feel like, a theme that was unique. Like I said, video games are slowly, I feel like, becoming a major platform, and that people were just sleeping on here. And I think that's part of what boosted it. I'm also big on advertising. Advertising is important. Some cons think that you don't have to promote. I'm big on some things. I'm very big on promoting is you promote your vendors. I post every vendor. I'm not afraid of that. I'll show you the vendor. You can go on the site right now. It shows every one of our vendors. I post all of them to Facebook. I make promotional ads that I pay for, telling you to go put your interest into the con on Facebook. I post fan groups. I post the cosplay guests. We're very big on our cosplayers. I try to make sure that everybody feels important and a part of this family experience. That's always important. But getting back to what One Up originally said, without like saying any names or anything, there was a guy. He was on my volunteer team. over a year plus ago, and something he'd joke about at the end of every show was, when are we going to get paid? And at the time, I wasn't even paying myself, and I was doing everything in house, which I still pretty much do. I have a few people that do come assist now, which is awesome. But I was doing all the inner workings, and I didn't even pay myself. And I'm like, this is a fan love project. I'm like, I'm not even paying myself at the time. And like, he expected money, and eventually he's like, he saw the money at the door, and it kind of hurt, because he thought, this is like, you go straight in, you're gonna make big money on this. No, that was after show number 3, and that took a lot of time, building up and promoting and average. But he saw it then, and it's like, oh, well, I could just do this. And I mean, I understand that instant gratification thought, but it definitely takes a lot more work than the average person thinks. And I'm grateful that y'all will give me the chance to, explain that here, that people need to realize, it in the beginning, it's all labor of love, and it still is to me. I do this because I love the fans, and I love video games. But you can't go in expecting it to pay for itself. I had to fund a lot of it first, and then the money came back later. And,
Yeah, no,
for some cons, it's a gamble, and you won't see that money come back. I've seen that happen to some fan shows, and it's tragic. It's really tragic.
That's what we always try to do. That's like usually one of our like mission statements when we do these shows. When we do the podcast here, we try to give people a platform to their purpose, what they do. We just help each other out. It's like a two-way street.
Absolutely.
And Goku, you got a new follower on Instagram, courtesy of the Rushmore Show.
Yeah, thank you. I actually saw that right now.
Congratulations.
So we hit 600 subscribers last week. We're now at 614. We've gained 13 new subscribers in less than a week, and our Instagram has finally hit 800. So we're on the road to 1,000 on both. We acknowledged this in the beginning of the show, but I also want to acknowledge it again. Our prayers and condolences do go out to James Earl Jones's family and friends. He did pass away today. The voice of Darth Vader and Mufasa. Also, he was in The Sandlot. He did many other projects. I was actually heartbroken. Well, yeah,
Terrible.
Mufasa.
Yeah,
Mufasa.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good.
He was in so many movies, so many iconic, not just films, but also he's done, Broadway. He's done like he's won Emmys, he's won Grammys, he's won Tony Awards. He's pretty much done it all in a way.
I'm forced at gunpoint at anime
Whoa.
concerts. We are 38 from 1K. LOL. Oh, that's amazing.
That's awesome.
It's podcasting on YouTube is it's so hard, because like people do Spotify or other
There's so many
websites
platforms,
and those are much better than YouTube. But we originally were streaming off of Facebook, and our YouTube channel was like dead on the water. We were getting like 10, 20 views if we were lucky. And then Facebook's algorithm screwed us over. We went from getting like 500, like 100 to 300 to like we were getting like 80, 70. We were lucky to break 50 or 60 views.
Wow.
And I'm like, let's start promoting YouTube. And it took a couple years because if you look at our early, so all of our stuff is on the live content. Some of our videos do less than 100. Some lately have been doing like 75, 449, 314, 185, 167. We did Jason David Frank's birthday tribute to him last week. It did about 70. And then like if you go back further down, we have like 40, 30, 27, like it's been it's getting there. It's getting better. But we're not like, to be honest, that's the thing, like where you mentioned, like where people mentioned that when it comes to anything, you lose money in the beginning. We lose a lot of money when it comes to the podcast, but we're making up for it because we get the free badges for whenever we do panels. Like we earn our free badges. Like we don't just get them for free. Like I will do press and I'll do panels. And like when we do karaoke for a convention, we bring our own equipment. Like I don't, because we went to a convention once and they didn't provide us speakers for a singing competition.
Oh, okay.
So ever since then, I was like, no. I ain't playing. Whenever we do anything that's singing related or karaoke, I bring my own stuff because I know how to use an audio mixer, but half the times it comes, don't touch the audio mixer.
Yeah, they get uptight about it.
But like yeah, and you said it before. You said something like when it comes to marketing, marketing is like important when it's podcasting, when it's running a convention, everything. There are a lot of panelists out there that don't advertise their own shit.
Mm-mm.
They don't.
Jeez.
They rely on the convention to advertise their panels. We
Some don't even do that.
no, most don't. Delta is one of the few that I noticed that will do it, but like most conventions, they'll just put you on the schedule and that's it. It's
Yep.
we will be like, okay, we got all right, guys, we got OniCon coming up. We got 6 panels. We got 3 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, unfortunately. And like, and I'll do it like that. Like, these are what we're hosting at this time, this time, this time, and I'll keep
Yeah.
bringing it up during the show. And or hey, we're gonna be at this con. Like, we're gonna be at this con. We're gonna be at this con because we legitimately have people that will go to a show just to see us.
Mhm.
And so, like, people don't understand that marketing is everything when it comes to advertising panels, even marketing your panels to a convention because you're selling that panel.
Mhm.
And I have a panel called Making Your Own Panel 101. And the first thing I tell them is like the name. The name is good. The first thing ever, and not just the people that run the con, but the people that are attending the convention. They're going to look at that. And that's going to be the first thing they look at that sticks out, the name of the panel. Because
Wait.
without the fans, without the audience, without the general public, there is no Geeks 5 ever. There is no Louisiana Retro Con. There is no WWE. There's no UFC. There's no NBA. There's no NFL, right?
Yep.
Without asses in the seats, there's no show.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
That's why the community con. I like the community cons because you guys care about the community. Y'all market towards the community. Y'all cater. There's a difference between marketing and then like you guys community conventions cater to the general public because
Y-
you're giving them what they want.
Yep. You want to know something different that we have? I don't know if a lot of shows do this, but because I actually received a really sweet call today, I'll mention. I almost cried about it. I cry thinking about it. But we actually have a phone number that I have separately registered just for the con. For fans can call it at any time. Customers can call in. Uh, vendors if they got a question that they want to sign up and know or whatever. Um, but we received a call today, and they were like, it was a mother that the daughter's a fan of the show, and they were like, "Are y'all still gonna have it this weekend?" And I was like, "Well, we're still gonna do it as planned. It's just it's hard right now to say because everybody's going crazy over this. It was a small category storm, and it doesn't look like it'll go crazy. But I don't know what'll happen in the next 48 hours. But I was like, we're still gonna do this, and she was like, "Well, I just wanted to know because she was like, I have this have an autistic daughter, and she was like, she doesn't really latch on to a lot of things, but the few things she does, she loves a lot." And she was like, uh, your convention is one of the things that she cares about the most, and she's just really hoping that it happens this weekend. She just can't wait to come back. She loved the spring show, and I just like I was almost tears, man. Like it's just like I said, it's very family friendly. I'm a big kid. Okay, I one of the main reasons that I want to keep doing this show is to showcase video game preservation, show people what I grew up with, what all of us grew up with, what people before us had, like even if Atari sucks. Just show the history of physical media before one day it all deteriorates from disc rot or just general deterioration. So just hearing that from the mind of a child, an innocent child, that they appreciate what you do just means a lot because I didn't have all this growing up. It was like you were the outcast sitting in the corner, and just seeing that people appreciate it that much, that's enough for me. It's a very thankless job, and a lot of Sage Con owners have told me that.
Mm-hmm.
And so when somebody just says that, like, that's it's life changing.
You're right though
I'm
about
just
the
grateful.
whole. You're right about it being a thankless job. Like when it comes to any industry whatsoever, whether you're an entertainer, whether you are a producer, whether
Yeah.
you're the owner, people that it's always like people are so quick to complain, to bitch about the littlest things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But it's like when you hear about it, when you hear about the good, it makes you feel better. Like, yeah, every convention has problems. There's no, like, we have a, like, even though our rating system is from 0 to 10, there is no convention in the world that will ever get a 10 from us.
Yeah, it's like not every con is perfect, you know.
No, that's very hard to do.
And so,
Absolutely.
like, yeah, it is a thankless job. And like, there's so much that, like, I would love to run a Geeks 5 ever convention
That would be so cool.
because we are, like, we've had people complain about the channel, like, oh, why is it called Geeks 5 ever? Why don't, like, because my original stage name was Anime Unrated, and they're like, why don't you call the channel that? I'm like, because we're not an anime channel,
Yeah.
we're a geek channel. It's a difference. Like, oh, but why? Like, because geek is more broad, like there's more to
Right.
explore, and
Absolutely.
with anime it's just strictly anime. But we, like, oh, god damn, I lost my train of thought.
It's okay. It's okay.
No, but, like, you know, it's a lot of work. Like, I would love to run a Geeks Fiber convention, I really would, but I worked with the owner of Kamikaze Con that was in Houston years ago, Mark, and he quit the convention, and he stopped hosting the convention, not because of financial, well, it kind of was a financial decision, but it was more of a, he wanted to be there for his family. Because I'm sorry, Mark, if you're watching the show, they were going to have another child,
Mhm.
and instead of putting his wife through the stress of running a convention, he decided to just let the convention go,
Oh, okay.
because it is a stressful job. People don't
Sure.
realize that running there are owners that run their conventions that will go days without sleep,
Sounds like me.
and right, and they're expensive. Like, conventions are expensive, especially the lower the ticket price, the more you're probably going to spend.
Well, and it's like, man, we're one of the most affordable ones in the state, and I think some people take advantage of that fact and don't realize it. And I mean, I want them to take advantage, like, come buy a ticket.
How
But
much is a ticket?
so it's $20 a day, which compared to a lot of cons that have the amount of programming and free stuff to do included after you pay that entry fee is very nominal. Weekend Pass is online exclusive, $35.
Mhm.
I'm just saying, a lot of big shows you're going to pay double or triple that sometimes.
So, just
But
to kind of share with you,
yeah,
Anime Matsuri's weekend badge, I believe, was closer to the neighborhood of 150. And if you bought their,
wow.
they had a band. What was the band's name, Sonic? Do you remember? Something I Heart Bananas or some shit like that.
No, it was a
It was a
it was like a
K-pop.
pop. Yeah, it was like a. I think it was either a J-pop or K-pop band. I forgot the name of it.
Something Love. And I know the name Love was in it.
Okay.
So the concert, they had a VIP ticket for the band that was not a part of the VIP badge. You had to buy the badge separately.
Oh.
So if you bought the the VIP package was $300, and it didn't come with a badge. So if you bought the VIP badge
Oh, it's
and you bought
Equals
the
Love. That's what it was called.
Equals Love, there, thank you. If you bought the badge and the VIP badge for Anime Matsuri, you could have bought a PS5 for less.
Mm-hmm.
That's how expensive that was.
That is insane.
And
That's a lot.
And it's kind of, and also too, because like some of these conventions, they do a thing where it's like, okay, you get the badge, and then for the concert it's a separate ticket, which is understandable because to meet control and all that stuff. But for something like this, uh, you would think, especially how big of a convention it is, you would think it should be included with your badge, right? But I guess for some cases, I'll give you an example. Sonic Expo.
I've always wanted to go to that one. That looks
Yeah,
so
so it's happening in November in Dallas. So they're having the concert, but it's a separate. You have to get a separate ticket for it, because last year they did it, and it was like, I guess they kind of underestimated how big of a house it would have been. So I guess to meet the control, I guess, or probably the venue. Maybe there was some situation they couldn't do. Maybe something, I don't know, but that's kind of reasonable because they expanded now to 3 days. It's going to be at a bigger venue, and also it was funded through a Kickstarter, so that's how they were able to pull it off.
Okay.
We have so I'm sorry. Normally on the show, we like to acknowledge first-time commenters, and I've been really bad at that today because I'm still tired from this weekend.
It's okay.
I even hit the gym during the convention, and I
respect
have to go tonight. As soon as we're done here, I'm gonna go and do my 3-hour workout, and then I have to be up at 7 in the morning for work.
Ooh, you're dedicated. I respect that.
Well,
Much respect.
thank you.
Get back to the gym myself. So
I won't get nowhere near as strong as I used to be when I was 18. When I was 18, I played football. I could bench press like 400 pounds.
that's amazing.
Now I can barely because I'm older. I can barely get past like 350. Right now I'm at like 250 because I'm out of shape.
Okay.
But
That's still not bad though. Not everyone can say they can do that. So that's good.
yeah, but I'm a bigger guy.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
football players, if you ever play football, especially the defensive linemen, they're like refrigerators with legs.
Sure.
You ever been tackled by a Coke machine?
No, I can't say. I can't say I have. No.
So, no, yeah, it's cool. I really like the fact that your badge is not expensive at all. That's actually pretty durable. I mean, if I had a way to get up there, I would actually go and buy a badge. It's very rare that I would buy a badge for a con. There's only 3 conventions since 2010 that I have bought badges for.
Oh wow.
Only 3. ApolloCon, maybe ApolloCon 3 times.
Okay.
ApolloCon.
Right. So it's real. And here's the thing. So I was talking to Anime Tyler, Texas, because we want to work with them. They're doing a family-friendly convention. Even though we do adult content, I can respect that because, for one, I'm a parent.
Sure.
My kid's 5. She's going to be 6 in April. You're doing a family-friendly convention. Look, we have a lot of adult conventions. We have Ecchi Expo, Ecchi Fiesta. We have UshiCon. This is in Texas alone. Yes, the adult conventions are great because it's a space that we can be an adult. But I can't take my kid with me. I can't. Well, I couldn't take her anyway because, for one, I only get her on the weekends. But if you're a parent, if you have a family, if you have 2 kids and a partner, you can't take your kids to that con. You're gonna have to leave them with grandma or a babysitter or something, or not go to the convention at all.
Yeah, it actually gatekeeps some people, unfortunately, when you limitate the age gap. And that's something that I took into account when I started this. Now we do have, I will say, we started last March 2024. We do the nightlife. We have a small. It's small though. It's a little quaint bar after party in the same hotel where we get the room block. And it's like only 2 minutes from the venue. So everyone gets the room discount, and then I like safety. I've always been big on safety. Hell, if I had the time to work another job, I'd be great as a safety officer, probably at a job. But so if somebody would go drink or something, they can just go mosey up to their room, and there's no issue. They're not having to drive somewhere. I take a lot of these things into account. Safety is important, inclusivity is important, and I feel like some people might not realize. Yeah, if you limitate and not allow the whole family to come to the show, you're actually losing customers.
You are, because you can take the kids to the con and be like, all right, Timmy, time for bed. Daddy's gonna go drink some milk. That's what we call alcohol.
Absolutely.
But like the adult conventions are great, but it's a limited market, and there's a reason why companies, big billion-dollar corporations like the WWE, for example. 'Cause I like to use them as a good example. There's a reason why their shows are family friendly, because
Mhm.
kids are the one. When you can take the whole family, you're going to spend a lot more money
Oh yeah,
because the
absolutely.
kids want stuff, they want
Yeah,
shit.
they want merch, goodies. Absolutely.
It's like, oh well, I bought him like a $30 shirt here and there, yeah, but oh, I bought myself like this guy spent $500 on this figurine, but this guy bought his kids a bunch of $30 shirts, yeah, but he probably bought the shirts from multiple vendors,
Oh yeah.
not the same vendor. So all those vendors benefited from their purchases, where the guy that bought the $500 adult figurine only benefited one vendor.
Yeah.
So it's the whole thing. Like whenever I say that we need asses in seats, like because without the community, without the kids, without the teenagers, without the adults, if you're not inclusive, if you're not diverse, then you're not going to last very long. There's an anime convention that they went under fire
Mhm.
because they posted rules. We're only going to allow like 2,500 people in the show, and you can only cosplay anime. If you cosplay anything that's not anime, we're
What?
going to refuse. They're going to reject you at the door.
That's oh.
And they went under.
That's not how you do things. I was gonna actually say it earlier, but it's perfect to say it now. To add to that, so at Louisiana Retro Con, it is the theme will always be like we're Louisiana's, premier video game convention at the heart and soul of it. But what's beautiful about retro is it can build off of any of things. At this point, I've told people that in generalization, it's a nostalgia fest because now we get vendors that want to come in and they do great. They'll sell like I said, the Four Finds guy, he comes sell retro Lego sets and minifigures. And then you got one guy that he'll come in and he'll sell signed Funko Pops from that one AAA list voice actor, VA, or actor that you want to have in your collection. Or I've got one guy, he comes sell like stuff like Marty McFly's signature on a hoverboard, or he's got the guy that played, sorry, I can't think of his name, but Patrick Bateman in American Psycho. He's got like cool things like that. Or you've got a guy we had last time, he sells records, or there's comic books, or somebody's got Goosebumps novels. It's just there's so many things you can build off of, and I'm not going to tell someone, oh, you can't come in because you're dressed as I don't know, a Golden Girl cosplayer, or whatever it is that you enjoy. Like, you come as you are, and we're going to have a great time, and we're going to accept who you are and what you want to do. Like, that's what the beauty of cons should be. You get to come escape reality, and you get to just come enjoy yourself in a very inclusive environment. You're welcome here. Like, that's how it should be. So that honestly disappoints me to hear that from that show, because like that's not what we do at RetroCon.
They're gone.
Yes, we do have that on Sundays. Rushmore show. That's right. That is a thing we do on Sundays.
Churches?
Yeah,
Chicken?
we do
Church.
we do a little nerd worship for those that want to privately on Sunday mornings.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we do that too. So yeah, there's all kind of stuff.
Is it Christian based or what? What?
Pretty much non-denominational.
Okay.
But yeah, if
Like a chapel.
kind of. But yeah, it's closed off, and like I said, it's optional. And if anyone wants to just come in and pray, they're welcome to. We don't force anyone. But
So-
yeah, it's just something we added extra.
Kind of going back to the retro thing.
Yeah.
You kind of gave me like a good idea. How would you like? Because I would like to do a panel for the con in the future.
Okay.
So we're creating a new, we pretty much stole this panel from someone named Deacon Rap. So we're calling it It's Morphin Time, the complete lore and history of Power Rangers, right? Because we don't just cover the show, we cover the comics.
Awesome.
Because the comics has 10 times the amount of lore that the show does. And like one thing that a lot of channels are doing that we haven't really done is I'm gonna call it Surviving the 90s, the cartoons edition.
Okay.
Just talk about like the top 10 worst and best cartoons in the 90s, because you only get one list, you don't get both. Like, let's talk about the crappiest cartoons in the 90s, let's talk about the best cartoons in the 90s.
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of cartoons nobody remembers.
Absolutely. So you'd want to kind of, I guess, like shed light on some of the like maybe unknown, and like bring it back to life in a way. Yeah.
Kind of. It's really good because one thing parents like to do is they like to go to panels that remind them of their childhood, and they like to take their kids, like, see, this is what a good show looks like, sir. Like, everybody talks about how great Captain Planet is. Like, oh, Captain Planet was great.
Yeah.
Captain Planet was awesome. Right? I liked it, but I
Oh,
like to
yeah.
throw shade at it. Like, oh my God, Captain Planet sucks. You throw a banana peel at him, and he's down for the count, like Joe Frazier when he fought Muhammad Ali.
Awesome.
So I like to do jokes. And like, you know, we're, like I said, I'm an entertainer. I'm always trying to come up with brand new ways to entertain. Like,
Yeah.
and like, that's why most chaotic panelist in all it takes is, and okay, so we have some other comments. It's in the beautiful theater. That's what Rhonda says.
Yes. Yeah. So that this venue does have like a whole theater, like where you could have plays or whatever. Like it could seat about, I think, 800 to 900 people.
It,
Um.
so I
which
do see a picture here. Sorry, sorry.
Yeah. Go ahead. It's okay.
I do see a picture here. I'm trying to look for it before so I can share it.
Okay.
I think it's under the About Us. Yes. Okay. I think this is it.
Okay.
Okay, no, better not share that one. Okay. There it is. Oh, because we have some behind the scenes stuff.
Nah, no worries.
Is it showing it? Oh yes.
Yeah.
Is this the venue?
Yeah, and that's like the vendors, the volunteers, friends that came help, a few of the celebrity guests themselves, and I think a food vendor in there. Yeah, it's like pretty much like the big old family that we had the last time we did it. That was back in March of 2024. Yeah, and it's
Looks like
just keep growing ever since. Every show I try to tell them I want to get a big group picture, and then we take it, and I always frame it.
I want to give
Always
you
frame it.
kudos for the logo. It's very simple yet creative.
I appreciate that. Well, I was trying to go for something that, you know, it piques the mind to where you immediately say, okay, that's a video game con. I want to go to it. I never really saw anybody think of, like, you know, using the NES and stuff incorporated. It's always SNES and it's always other stuff, you know.
Immediately, Super Mario Brothers came to mind.
Exactly. And see, I mean, right behind me, and this little guy right here at my desk. So yeah, I'm a big Mario buff. I've always loved Nintendo, and the little things I love always are, I guess, winked and nodded at in the promotion stuff. Like even our vendor announcements, the text font is actually the original GameCube's font, and that's because the GameCube is my favorite console of all time. So little things like that I always put in there, and I'm, you know, if people get to know me one day, they can be like, "Oh wait, that's right, that guy likes this. That's why it's." So it's always gonna be like, you know, there's little things that you see. This is a fan doing this for other fans, and that's what's so fun about it, man. You know, like I try to elaborately think of all this stuff, and then we do themes. We always do a theme each show. It's something I started last year. We did Mario to celebrate right after the Mario movie released.
Mm-hmm.
And then this year has been a 10-year celebration of FNAF because it went crazy in the box office. And then it's the 10th year anniversary. But I'll be honest, I'm really excited for what we have for next year. Next year is it's a theme I'm really a fan of. This year was something like more of I'm trying to learn what other people like, and I wanted to give back to a younger crowd because I wanted to get more younger people in the door, not just my generation and that before it. So I feel like Five Nights at Freddy's brought a lot more people together, and I'm really, really grateful for that. But next year is going to be fun. We're going kind of more back to the past, and it's something that I think the fans are really going to like. I can't talk about it right now. It's exciting. So
this guy Christian Stokes,
yes,
I swear he was in Diary of the Dead.
he might have been. I'm not sure.
Because have you seen the movie?
I've heard of it. I just
it's the George A. Romero zombie movie where it's in first person because the guy's filming it as a documentary.
Is that the movie that inspired like Call of Duty Zombies? Because I know they have a map called Call of the Dead and they have George Romero as a boss.
Likely, it's probably like a tribute to it.
Okay,
well,
I was wondering.
Not that movie in particular, but it was a tribute to George A. Romero as a whole.
Right.
Because he created the modern day zombie movie genre.
Yeah. Okay. But
Right.
I can't say I've seen it though. I really need to check that one out.
So
He might have been. I'm gonna have to ask him. I see him this weekend, so he's
Yeah,
a
'cause
really cool guy.
he looks like it. Let me.
Another fun fact about Stokes is he actually runs a place called the Mortuary out of New Orleans, which is a haunted house that opens up every year for Halloween. So he's a man of many coats. It's pretty cool. But he was one of the bad guys in Five Nights at Freddy's that they kind of they get they get him pretty early on. But yeah, it's
It's not. I don't think it's him. It's not him. But he kind of looks like him.
okay.
Let's see.
That's crazy coincidence.
Let me see. Share it real quick. Maybe we don't get demonetized. It's
Oh, okay. Yeah, he actually does look a lot like him. Wow.
The fuck are you doing here?
What the fuck are you doing here?
I'm just stealing shit. But you, what's the guy with the video camera doing in the women's dorm, huh? Security!
yeah, it does look like him.
It's almost like you picked the perfect part because he talks about video games. That's cool. It's awesome.
Oh God, I kind of want to go to ask him. Like, is that you? No, but that guy's going bald and he has hair. Never mind, it's not him.
I gotta ask him for you. I'll see him.
Oh,
this
that
week.
movie came out in 07, so a lot has happened in almost 15 years.
Yeah,
He looks.
That's true.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Maybe
might not be him. Then I don't know.
He definitely looks younger in this picture than he does in that. What? Let me show you why real quick, because I'm
Yeah,
on the
sure.
website.
But what he looks like in that picture is pretty much what he looks like right now.
Right here, this one.
Yeah, yeah. So that's actually a stealth shot of him from the Five Nights at Freddy's film. That was his costume.
He does look like him. Like
That's amazing. He really does.
Yeah. Oh, it's not going to show you. Okay, because I changed tabs. I forgot that it's like tab specific. Yeah, no, it does. I don't think it's him though, because maybe I don't know. Now I'm conflicted. Now I want to go. But unfortunately, we have to go set up our camp at the Texas Renaissance Festival. So I'm not even going to Anime Houston.
Oh.
And I gotta hit the gym with my friends, unfortunately. So I'm planning on cosplaying the Great Saiyaman from
Thank you.
I'm planning on cosplaying the Great Saiyaman from Dragon Ball Z.
Nice.
Again, and I want to like bulk up. I'm not trying to like drop too much weight though, because I'm overweight. I have a gut and everything, but I want to do the strongman. You ever seen the strongman competitions? Most of the guys in those competitions have like guts and stuff, but they can lift like a car.
Yeah.
That's what I want to be. I want to be able to lift a car.
So you want to get the guts so you can go berserk?
Yeah, like
I'm making a terrible anime pun here, but yeah.
No, yeah. I want to go legendary, like bro.
Heck yeah.
Davey is Mario. Yes, Davey is Mario. But
let's go.
He's showing someone who else will be wearing Mario. Yeah, so it's great that we actually I stumbled upon your Instagram.
Okay.
I don't remember how. I just saw it because I've been trying to branch out to Louisiana because I was already trying to branch out when I lived in Moss Bluff, and we're gonna do SiPHECon in Lake Charles. I believe that's where it is.
Yeah, it's in Lake Charles, Louisiana. Yeah.
We had our panels approved. We had press, but my mom was in and out of the hospital this year, so I told her I'm not gonna be able to go. Thank you. She's okay now. She's fine now.
Good. That's great.
So yeah, it doesn't. So thank you, Ms. Rhonda. She looked into the IMDb and it doesn't show the movie for him. Yeah, because he does kind of look like it, but the other guy's balding and older. Like the other guy looks the same age as he does now. So the other guy's definitely older. But so if this weekend is the convention, I guess, to kind of start, kind of wrapping up, but the weekend is this convention. What is your, you talked about, you want to bring people together of all ages to kind of enjoy the things that not just old. Obviously, you're bringing in you have a lot of people from the movie Five Nights at Freddy's, but ultimately, like, do you see the convention? Like, if you had the opportunity to go bigger, like much bigger venue, would some conventions
Hmm.
don't grow the convention on purpose?
Hmm.
Because as many people don't realize that watch my show, I'm pretty sure that like you and all the people commenting like right now obviously know the logistics behind the show.
Sure.
But a lot of manpower goes into these things, a lot of security, volunteers, staff members, people. It's a lot more work. You got to bring more people in. It's you got to be more like there could be a lot of loose ends, a lot of people like leaking information, like maybe something bad happened. And then when something bad does happen and it's out of the convention's control, like oh my god, did you hear somebody at the McDonald's got robbed? It's all Retro Louisiana. It's Louisiana Retro Con's fault.
Right.
Why wasn't security at the McDonald's parking lot? So like, yeah, it happens all the time. Like, but could you see your con becoming bigger, like eventually, like, and I'm talking like Fan Expo bigger in the future? Or are you good with like, or the size that it is right now? Are you like happy?
Well, I'm really ecstatically satisfied with where we're at now. This is something that I would be happy to, I guess, revisit in my mind in the future. Um, as we progress, I plan to keep expanding. We're already looking at possibly. It's just seeing, I guess, where the finance is after this show because we have spent honestly more money with this one show in entire RetroCon history. I put a lot of love into this coming up show, and I want people to come out and support just so that we can get to the next one. Do I see myself at Fan Expo level? Maybe someday. Do I want to be there? Maybe in the future I might. Right now, I'm trying to keep it. Like I said, I want it to feel homegrown. I want people to come and it's a different experience because you go to Fan Expo and I guess I've been there a bunch. I was there even when it was before the buyout, which I'm sure you know that certain locations before they came out from Canada and they came to the U.S. and they started buying up the Wizard Worlds and whatnot. That's what we had in New Orleans, and then it got turned into Fan Expo because of the buyout.
Yeah.
I guess, and again, this is me going back to the whole corporate thing. There's certain shows for certain people, and I guess I'm just trying to appeal to a certain type of crowd.
Mhm.
I'm obviously, trying to make it more of an expansive crowd, but I feel like people go to like those large scale shows mostly to meet celebs, and it's not as much about the experience.
Mhm.
And I always want it to be more about the experience. So in that regard, it might take a little longer to grow. And I'm just being realistic about it because a lot of those big shows blow up because they're like, oh hey, I've got Jack Black coming, or oh I've got Jeff Goldblum. Hey, how's it going, guys? I got this, and like whatever. So they got
Yeah.
these big guys, and you're paying good money because that's what it's about. You want to go meet that grail of an actor. You want to and I understand that. And like I said, I mean, I think it would be a dream. So it's something I might revisit in the future. But where we're at now, I'm comfortable.
Mhm.
But we're like I said, we're already looking at possibly the next venue. It's just seeing what the expenses are right now and seeing if we can match that next year with the bigger place if we go there. Um,
Mhm.
but no, trust me, we want to keep growing it.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Like I didn't even think we'd get this far. It was just for fun, and now
I
it's become this whole company, and it's exciting. So
I
that's a
see
great
that.
question.
I
Thank
see
you.
that though because you have it in our about us. We're like, oh, this was an experiment that lasted 4 hours,
That's what it
and
was the first time. Yeah.
it this is what it says word for word for the audience that are watching and the replay audience. The first show was only a 4-hour test run event and was never expected to expand in such a positive way.
We didn't have panels, programming. We didn't have cosplay guests, special guests. There wasn't even any food trucks outside. Some people were like, "Oh man, I'm gonna have to go to freaking McDonald's up the road because there's no food here." Like that's how it was. And but we did have like I it was literally like me bringing my old video game consoles from my house and putting in the free play arcade in the beginning. Now, flash forward to today, This past year, I've collected 3 retro arcades cabinets that will be debuting next weekend for the first time at the Retro Con. Plus, our sponsor Time Tunnel Arcades and Sales brings about 4 to 5 reconstructed classic arcades to the show, and that's all free to play. And it's just it's I'm indebted to the people. I'm grateful for how much they've allowed this to blossom from just a little seed to a full bouquet of roses now. And hopefully we can become a giant rose bush one day and an entire garden, if that makes sense. It's just I'm just grateful for how much it's expanded, because now we have the food trucks. We've got, there's so many things now. There's even a guy inside that we have that sells organic coffee, and people kept raving over it. Like, yeah, I'm pumped. I'm not tired anymore. I got to go get another cup of this stuff, So there's just so many intricate things involved now. And like I said, it's without the vendors, cosplayers, attendees, volunteers, fans, family, just all of them. We wouldn't, as a whole, we wouldn't be where we are today. There's no I in team. I know it's not just me. Without all these people, it wouldn't be possible. So to any of them that are watching, I'm grateful for where we're at.
But you're right, though. There is no I in team. But if you rearrange the letters, it spells meat.
Yeah, well, we will have meat next weekend. There's like a noodle truck that's coming. By the way, you might want to check them out. They're supposed to be moving to Texas in October, which I'm upset about. Good for you. Sucks for me. The people love them at my show, but they're a ramen noodle food truck with Berea ramen and all kind of other good stuff.
You gotta next year come promote your show, and I know One Up is watching. Come promote your show at Anime Tyler, Texas, and we will find like the ghettoest taco truck in this state, and we will buy you some tacos.
I appreciate that. That sounds great. I'd love the full experience.
Yeah, because I was Louisiana, like people in Louisiana like season the shit out of their food, just like Mexicans do. And it's crazy because
they do.
Yeah, my ex, like oh god, oh man, the cooking, I miss it.
High blood pressure is like such a staple here. It's crazy, and then,
oh, it's so spicy. I sweat.
Yeah. Oh, I love spicy food though.
I would sweat it out. But like the reason why I ask you that, because like whenever we interview a con chair, like that's like the number one, like that's one of the biggest questions we get asked. Like like, hey, are you going to grow? Are you thinking about, because people don't, when you can't see behind the curtain, you can't really know for sure what goes into it. Like, oh, maybe you just don't want to. Maybe the reason why you're not growing is because you're not making the money. It's like, no, it's not always about the money.
No.
It's like, because a bigger convention is just harder to manage.
Well, it's not just that. See, part of what goes in my mind is like, okay, I'll give you a for instance. So there's a bigger city in this area called Gonzales, Louisiana. And there's a really nice center out there that people would like this to move to. A lot of the vendors want it. There's even some fans in the fighting game community that would like it. But something that always resonates with me, and I'm just a sympathetic guy like that. The town I'm in has nothing. They are a small town. I brought them something. I was actually, RetroCon was like the first convention for Morgan City. They've never had anything like this. It's always been gun shows and, Boy Scout events and festivals and, little charity events. It's always been the same stuff. And so I brought them something special. And I understand people want it to grow, but it's also like you have a hot soft spot for where you started, So it's like people appreciate it here, but I still am open to growing it, but I also think about little communities and, people matter. The people do matter. So
it's true though. Like a lot of people don't. And that's one of the points I was eventually going to bring up, that conventions bring a lot of revenue to the surrounding area there, and that's why cities like Dallas, Texas, and Houston, Texas offer incentives now. Like, hey, we'll give you $100,000,
right, to keep it there.
Yeah, like if you keep it here or you host it here, like we'll give you half off the venue. Like, and it's crazy because Houston, the city of Houston, created Comic Palooza, and they own it because of the revenue it could bring in.
Oh, okay.
So, like,
wow.
yeah, they own Comic Palooza. Well, didn't own it originally. They commissioned the convention,
Mhm.
and they owned 50% of the rights, but then they bought the rights out completely.
Wow. Okay.
So that's where what you said comes into like bigger. It comes into the play as well as to why maybe the convention can't grow, because I want to keep it here, and this is the biggest venue they have.
And that's where we're at right now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like it's packed, and there's so many people that I wish we could have let in. That, you know, we even had a vendor this past weekend. Hey, are y'all gonna have anyone with Pokemon TCG? I want to come set up a table and sell. And I'm like, dude, we're like to the door full of people. Like I even redid our last map, which was like perfected. It was You couldn't have made it more perfect. But then it's like, okay, wait, we booked a lot more people. Now we got to go back and re-infrastructure this to where it's, you know, safe and in case of fire. And yeah, I had to deny so many great people. And, you know, to them, if they're watching, I appreciate you for registering. I'm sorry that, you know, we couldn't fit you this time, but that's one part of me that makes me want to make the jump, you know, go to the next place, because then we can add more people. But it's definitely a hard thing. But like I said, you know, I'm teetering with the ideas. You know, it's a lot of ideas, and we'll be taking some surveys at the end of this show this weekend to, you know, just get some feedback, see what people want. Do you want, you know, this many shows a year? Do you want this one? Do you want one here, one in this town? What do you want? You know, I'd love to hear what the fans want, because, you know, again, without them, you know, there's no power to the people. So I want to hear what they want to say.
Quick shout out to the Rushmore Show. I just subscribed to your channel, and I ring-a-linged your ding-a-ling button to be notified every time you go live.
Heck yeah.
And I'm going to follow your Instagram. Oh, I'm already following it. Damn, they got a lot more followers than I do. I should be on their show.
It's a good podcast. I love it. I've been on it a couple times. Some nice guys.
I'm down. I'm down to have them on too. I wanted to say thank you for coming on and kind of sharing with us.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about the convention. Now I'm kind of like I'm pissed that I'm not gonna get to check it out, because like it actually sounds cool.
Appreciate
And you got some like cool. I don't really like, to me honest, I don't really care about guests, but I like the convention's layout, and I'm a retro fan. If for sure, when you have your dates, your theme, everything in the future, we will like throw our name in the hat to do content.
Heck yeah. And we do fan tables, so come get a table. Absolutely.
We might be selling merchandise next year. We have a shirt that's called O Taco.
I love that.
It's just a taco with like Super Saiyan hair.
That is awesome.
If you could plug in your social medias, where we can follow you, where we can find you, anything that you would like to promote, yours or the conventions.
Yeah, sure. So if anyone has any questions about Louisiana Retro Con, you can message us anytime at Facebook under the same name, Louisiana Retro Con. Also Instagram under the same name. We're also, you can send a Gmail, that same Louisiana Retro Con at gmail.com. You can email us any time of day. We'll try and get back to you as soon as possible. Like I said, it's a small team, but we do care about all of your questions, inquiries, and whatnot. And there's also the phone number. You can call 985-628-5186 and speak to a live, living, breathing representative, not a robot. We still live in the past about it. And like being personal. And also, you can go to the official website that you graciously plugged, www.louisianaretroconvention.com, as it's in the comments up there. And we'd hope to see any of y'all this weekend. And and look, I appreciate you guys for having me on. This was really fun. I enjoyed.
This was great.
Enjoyed meeting y'all, talking to y'all, and giving a little bit of what's behind the curtain. And so we do serious episodes every now and then. It's just that like sometimes we only double book because I try to cater to people's schedules, and we have to continue our convention reviews because Monday is like the freshest day to do the review. Right. Because everything's still fresh. You're still in pain. You still remember if the room stinks or not. Right. But thank you so much for joining us. Sonic, go ahead and plug away your socials.
Sure. I am. You can follow me on Instagram. I am Super Saiyan Sonic. You can follow me there on Instagram. From there, I do have my link tree in the bio. So if you want to check out my other stuff, I do a lot of YouTube videos. You can follow me on Twitter. You can follow me on Discord, whatever. Speaking of videos, I'm currently working on a video. It's kind of related to we were talking about earlier about like a retro console and all that stuff. And just if you subscribe to my channel, turn on notifications, and you'll probably be the first people to see it.
Mm. All right. Thank you. All right, guys. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, the tweeters, the book of the faces, the use of the tubes, fan fiction. No, I'm kidding. Not that last one. If you follow us on YouTube, do me a favor. Make sure you hit the thumbs up button because the algorithm with YouTube sucks. So, and also, if you're subscribed to the channel, make sure you ring-a-ling the ding-a-ling button so you can be notified every time we go live. This Wednesday, we will go live. Once again, we're going to talk about the issues in the anime community with Japanese culture because there's an issue that we can't say the full name of it. We can say CP because YouTube is dumb, right? And it's something that it's just a big subject that we covered like a month ago, and we had that guest on the show to kind of explain their side of the story. And now we're going to go dive deep into the actual history of it in Japan, because I don't know if you're aware of this, Davey, but possession of CP was not made. So they made it illegal, but possession of it wasn't made illegal until 2014.
I did not know that. That is crazy.
And they gave everyone a 2-year grace period to like get rid of it or turn it in. No questions asked, no jail time. The creator of Rurouni Kenshin got caught with it, and now he's in jail. And we were supposed to get a sequel, but we're getting a remake instead.
Okay. Did not know that. Jeez.
So we found out by digging into it, and now we want to dedicate an entire episode to it.
Yeah, why not? Go for it. Shoot. I'm sure people will watch it. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for everybody. Make sure you're subscribed. We'll see everybody later. And if you want to be on the show, hit us up.
Just be reasonable.
That's right.
Yes.
Glizzy. Right, bye everyone.
Take care.
See
Till
y'all
next
later.
time, y'all.